See, the thing is, I want all the smoke. I ain't gonna hold you.
Y'all, I hope y'all are ready for this as well, because this is how we're starting. Welcome, guys, to another episode of See the Thing
Welcome. Since so many of y'all lost your fucking selves on the internet last week.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. You know why? Because they too busy tweeting. That's why.
A lot of y'all is nervous. A lot of y'all's brain power is nervous.
What he wrote down, the whole crowd goes so loud.
But the words won't come out. Time's up, over. Smash back to reality. Up, there goes gravity. Up.
I wish they would have choked, actually. I wish some of them would have choked on their words. And guys, real quick, if you guys are tuning in for the very first time to See the Thing Is podcast, I am Mandii B. And y'all may have all seen my lovely co-host all over the blogs this week.
Jesus. Yeah, I got pit up against Slim Shady this week in a versus on blogs. Over our conversation a couple weeks back around the Super Bowl halftime show, and I gotta say, there are two things that I love and hate about the internet. Right, number one, which I always say this. I don't like to match internet energy because none of these people, well, first of all, most of these people would never run into me in real life. But if any of them did, nobody would ever have the audacity or the gall to speak to me in my face the way that some of these messages came across.
Just so you thought.
Right. But you know, that doesn't necessarily mean though that I'm not beyond course correction, right? I pride myself in being mature enough and educated enough to acknowledge when I might have misspoke. And a couple weeks ago, I did misspeak. I did say that there was never an all black halftime show during the Super Bowl, and that was incorrect on my part. Okay.
There was?
Yes. So Destiny's Child and Beyonce. Well, Beyonce and Destiny's Child, I should say. I'll switch that because we understand. Right. We understand what happens there. They headlined the Super Bowl just themselves. Somebody else did their Googles to let me know that Prince had also done the halftime show. Michael Jackson had also done the halftime show. Diana Ross had also done the halftime show. But I would like to make the distinction about my statement in highlighting the fact that every black act that has headlines the halftime show at the Super Bowl was also a mainstream pop act. And so I'm going to correct my statement in saying that there's never been an all black hip hop lineup with multiple artists at one time. Now, I got attacked over the comment made around. Oh, literally attacked.
Wait, can you share you
want me to read some of the stuff that
y'all
came?
Listen,
let me read you a couple of these. Hold on.
I'm so sorry for you.
And by the way, don't, because a lot of this stuff makes me laugh because I could just imagine, right? I look at some of these people's avatar, like their main photos. So yeah. And I'm like, so you took this selfie and while you was driving, your seatbelt was across you. You got your, you know what I mean? You got your iridescent yellow, green, orange shades on with the hat that you bought at Bass Pro Shops last weekend. And that was your main profile picture. Somebody called me a Negro bitch.
At least
hey, you
Negro.
Piece of shit, Negro bitch with an E at the end. With an E at the end of Negro. So you know he really had to go look that up. He's not from here. Oh yeah, somebody else said somebody else called me a nigger whore bitch. Damn. That was also what I was called.
With the
and
ER?
I was with the ER, and I was told to die a slow death.
Jesus.
And all of this because
because of one word.
All of this because I said that Eminem was the token white person on this lineup, right? So we always say on this podcast, several things can be true. Mm-hmm. And one thing that is true is that Eminem is the highest caliber of artist that would belong on this type of a lineup, right? I do want to read the definition of tokenism, though, because I think a lot of people took that as me saying that there's something wrong with Eminem being the token white guy on the lineup. So I just want to define tokenism real quick. It is the practice of making only a perfunctory or symbolic effort to be inclusive to members of minority groups, especially by recruiting people from underrepresented groups in order to give the appearance of racial or gender equality within a workplace or educational context. So let me just educate those of y'all who thought that me defining Eminem as the token white person on this lineup is wrong. So, as far as hip hop is concerned,
go ahead and teach them, girl.
As far as hip hop is concerned, the minority group within hip hop is white people. So, in order for there to be a token, there has to be a representative of the minority group, which is, in this case, white people. So Eminem is the representative, also known as the token, as far as this hip hop lineup is concerned. Now, the simultaneous truth to all of that is the fact that he is a pivotal, if not one of the most impactful artists that has been a part of Dr. Dre's legacy. None of those things around his music and his legacy were mentioned. And shout out to all the blogs who purposely posted a clip with zero context.
Welcome to podcasting.
Right. Gotta love that.
Welcome.
Gotta love that.
It's weird because I guess it is a little similar to what we see. I mean, it's clickbait worthy. That's all it is.
Of course.
And I mean,
which is why I don't internalize any of it or take it personally at all.
Well,
because
you've been in reality TV.
It doesn't.
I've seen.
You've seen how nasty people can be.
Look like.
Yeah. So I'm not really. That doesn't really bother me. I think it's really around. It's really the conversations around race and racism that are tricky, right? Because I think people thought that me saying or us saying that he's a token in this scenario meant that he wasn't qualified to be on the bill, which is not the conversation at all.
Can I also just hit my mind?
Yeah.
Based off of our conversation last week?
Yeah.
Do you see how quick all them whites called you a nigga?
Oh, 100%.
Do you see how quickly that happened?
Absolutely.
So
it wasn't only white people in my mentions and in my comment section either. It was a lot of black people that also felt like they needed to defend Eminem's hip hop legacy and catalog, which again, no one mentioned or criticized or came for. So all the shade, the alleged shade that you let these blogs like tell you was thrown is completely incorrect and untrue. So just to be clear, Eminem is an incredible artist who has the catalog, the success, and the caliber and the talent to be on that stage, full stop. The other point is Dr. Dre being Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg being who Snoop Dogg is, Mary J. Blige being who Mary J. Blige is,
Kendrick
being who Kendrick is. Kendrick is also a part of Dr. Dre's new age, new generation of legacy, right? They can all collectively do this without the presence of Eminem if they needed to, which was my point. And at the end of the day, we are discussing the most watched event in American television, which is the Super Bowl, which is
also
the NFL. And so we're going to discuss the fact that the NFL, as we're watching in real time with this coach and the audacity of his caucasity using his work email to be racist, misogynistic, and homophobic, right? The NFL, the culture of the NFL.
We see what happened with Colin Kaepernick. We see at what they've done over the last, I would say, 2 to 3 years, and really not
4 to 5.
4 to 5.
We'll go back. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We'll go back to when Donald Trump got into office, and when all of a sudden, the tiki torches and the tiki torches, the chino pants, all came out to be upset. And wave their American flags against anything pro equal rights. Okay? So all of those things considered, right? You have an all black hip hop lineup that doesn't necessarily need the presence of anybody else. But because we are in America, and also because this is they want to make sure there is representation. Because by the way, Mary J. Blige
has nothing to do with Aftermath.
Is the token female on the bill as well.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, it's about representation. And to be clear, every other black act, again, I'll say, that is headlined on a halftime show or performed during the Super Bowl was a mainstream global pop star that was also safe, that also represented music culture as a whole, not just black culture. Hip hop is black culture. And they are allowing this platform and this stage for Black culture. So we didn't need Eminem necessarily. We could do it without him. We don't have to, but we can. And him being the only white person on the bill is also, in addition to Dr. Dre's legacy, about making sure that everybody is represented. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing critical about that. The only thing that's to be acknowledged and observed in the space is that this opportunity for an all-Black lineup is now not going to be that. Now an all-Black hip-hop lineup is not going to be about strictly the culture of hip-hop, which is Black. So Eminem is the token. I said what the fuck I said.
Okay. And what's crazy is Bridget and I had a lot of the conversations this week because
also,
outside of... Oh, wait, you got more?
I do. The one thing I did want to say was, if it wasn't about race, and none of that was strictly about Dr. Dre's legacy, then 50 Cent and G-Unit should have also been allowed to be included in that, because they were also a huge part of the Dr. Dre Eminem umbrella as well. So just want to be clear. Just want to throw that out there, that the same white people who are dying on this hill for Eminem, who felt like I criticized his talent and his art, just need to be aware those same people are the same weak ass bitches you see singing in the club for their birthday. So just knock it off. All of y'all knock it off.
Double homicide on that one.
Carry on. Carry on. We can carry on.
No, it's crazy because we're talking about even just podcasting, right? We come on here weekly. We share our opinions. We share our thoughts on a lot of the things, current events, music, TV. Y'all hear us every week talk about this. And what's crazy is while Bridget received all of this backlash for the take on the Super Bowl, last week I had a lot of messages sent in to not only my comments, my DMs, in the disappointment in the lack of my opinion or eagerness to cancel Dave Chappelle and his comments regarding the trans community. And I just want to speak to, although I do align myself with the LGBTQIA plus community, I am bisexual. I am queer. I do not have a trans experience. And so when I sit on this podcast and, certain things offend me, certain things do not. Right. Y'all know, I say it all the time. I believe we're all hypocrites. But I didn't feel like it was my space to say how anyone should be offended, how they shouldn't be offended. And me personally, it wasn't something that I was offended by. And so I just want to make that very clear that though I'm aligned with this group, I'm not here to sit here and tell anyone listening if they should or shouldn't be offended, what they should and shouldn't be aligned with, how they want to go moving forward, listening to things. I mean, shit, we sat here and talked about, y'all know I can't stand Future and I can't stand fucking R. Kelly, and yet I love me some Chris Brown. And so in ways of which there's abuse and there's people who find different people offensive or should be canceled, like I just don't align fully with cancel culture, and I am a hypocrite. However, again, I wasn't personally triggered, and I did understand the overall thing. I do want to also give a shout out. We shouted her out last episode, but Flame Monroe really went on and discussed with Don Lemon how she, as a trans woman, understood the overall thing. And one of the things that I love that she said was, yes, I am trans. Yes, I am a comedian. Those are things I can hide. I can never hide that I'm Black. Right. And I think that that's kind of what Dave Chappelle was really trying to do, which is kind of full circle everything. And again,
well, I think, but I also think that it's we have to stop diverting away from the point, which is the same situation as the Eminem situation, diverting away from the point to make another point that was never argued in the first place. We call that changing the base of the argument, right? So the base of the argument was never that, that Dave Chappelle was, he was making transphobic comments and homophobic comments, and that was not the base of his argument. The base of his argument was that Black people are consistently disenfranchised, consistently marginalized, consistently treated unfairly, and that's its own statement. That has nothing to do with the LGBTQ plus community. That was his messaging. Now, did he say some things that were absolutely cringy and could be offensive to people? 100%. But I think if we go back and look at comedians, there's been a lot that has been said over the course of the last 30, 40 years that has been offensive. I mean, I'm watching sitcoms even now. I look at some of the jokes that were written in sitcoms and I'm like, damn, that would never fly today. Like some of the shit that got said, like no one had all this energy around the trans conversation when Martin was dressed up as Shanae. Nobody was offended and pissed off and saying anything was transphobic or stereotypical or anything like that. We looked at it as comedy. And I think, the perspectives have changed. I think we have to keep allowing people room to learn and unlearn. And I think when someone's making a point about something very specific, the how is always important, but the bottom line and the intention is also more important in my mind. We were just talking about this earlier about, the importance of acknowledging the humanity in all of this, right? Around gender identity, but also even around the race conversation. And more and more often, we're seeing a lot less people grant people the grace to be human and grant people the grace to unlearn, which takes time. It takes time to unlearn certain shit. And it's not to say that people should then use that as a crutch and an excuse to be blatantly disrespectful. I
was going to say, there is a difference between giving someone time to learn something and flat out ignorance.
Correct.
And
deliberate, willful ignorance.
I was about to say.
Willful ignorance.
I was about to say, going out of your way almost to not learn this new, kind of world order that we're in right now.
Correct.
And also just understanding too, like we said earlier, like you can be offended. We are in a very sensitive time.
Yeah.
But
I think if the intention sometimes is to better understand, right? I think the only thing that needs to continue to be understood is the fragility of humanity as a whole. And I think even as we have the conversations around the vaccine mandate and all that, I think that's really tough as well.
Now listen, if y'all listening to this and thought that we weren't gonna mention the goddamn vaccine, you wrong. We're gonna get to that later. Mm-hmm. But I do want to get into something to lighten up the mood. And I have a little transition song for you. And it's featuring someone that we're about to talk to just because this just makes me happy. Do you not like... Now listen, some of y'all may be a little too young to know this remix.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, we talked about Destiny's Child. We did. And now we about to talk about your man who hosted... a universe? Is that what it was called? Trillerverse. Bitch, I don't be knowing.
Trillerverse.
Not them making up words, bitch. I'm still learning the old ones. All right, y'all.
Damn, that was such a good remix, too.
This was a great remix. And the fact that they made this at like 16. Can you fucking believe that?
That's making me want to go back and listen to Writings on the Wall. I may have to revisit that album this week.
That album is like really good.
Game changer.
Like game fucking changer. Although I really like the Survivor album as well.
I like the Survivor album too, but I think where I was at in life was like in 7th or 8th grade when Writings on the Wall came out. So I was really getting into my voice and I was like, oh my God, Beyonce.
No,
I just want to hit these notes. I was trying really hard.
You were trying really hard?
I was trying really hard.
You couldn't hit her notes?
No.
Her notes are different.
Bitch, there's like a handful. There's a handful of women, and not even just her notes either. The runs, the runs was everywhere. I was like, damn, how's she breathing through that? It was a lot of skill, a lot of skill showcased on that album for sure.
Well, I'll show you how I breathe through some things.
All right.
It's a skill, baby.
Oh dear God.
No, but I guess let me ask you. I guess we'll do a quick catch up. But
yes,
your weekend, you went to Barclay and went to the Trillerverse.
So this right. So
explain what it is.
At this point, New York just
bodied.
New York just be remixing all the shit, right? We just be we throw everything we can at one thing, right? And we love to do things in extremes. And so obviously the Triller versus collaboration has expanded beyond just the verses, right? The musical competition between artists. Now it also includes boxing. So now there's Triller boxing. Mm-hmm. And so Saturday night before the actual verses, they had Trillerverse Fight, which was like a couple different. Fight is the app, the company that hosts a lot of these fights, and so they had a couple different fights, boxing matches prior to, and then they had a showcase they called the Trillerverse Showcase, I guess, with Supercat, who, for those of you who don't know, is reggae dancehall legend, an icon, which was kind of interesting because my boyfriend being Jamaican, obviously I wanted to surprise him with something cool to do on date night, and this was the thing. And I had no idea when I bought the tickets prior to like the lineup being, I bought the tickets prior to the lineup being announced. So when the lineup was announced, it was like, oh shit, Wyclef is hosting with Refugee Sounds, which is Jerry Wonder. Shout out to Jerry Wonder, it's my guy. And so they were really curating this concert with all these different reggae dancehall acts. So Wyclef moderated it, did his own set in the beginning, played dub plates.
I'm so jealous.
Anybody who's Caribbean or Jamaican, I mean, doesn't have to be Jamaican, but I'm primarily Jamaican, understand the value of dub plates, right, in a sound clash. And dub plates are basically an artist takes their own song and customizes it. They'll do a verse or a verse and a chorus and customize it to mention the name of the sound group, the sound clash, or the DJ or the artist that they're doing the dub plate for. And so Wyclef came on and played a dub plate with Whitney Houston. He had a dub plate with Nas. He had a dub plate with Michael Jackson. And then he plays a dub plate with Kenny Rogers. And that was it for me. I was like, you know what? The fact that Wyclef Jean is up here in all of his Haitian Caribbean glory, talking about his dub plate with Kenny Rogers, it just really reminded me how music, the culture of music really has no bounds, right? Like genres just constantly, consistently cross and so beautifully, and then continue to introduce a bunch of reggae acts to perform after that.
But I also love they had the old school and new school, because Dexta Daps was also on the bill.
They had Dexta Daps.
And y'all know I love me some Dexta Daps.
Baby Shem. They had Cranium. They had Conscience. And then of course they came out with Barrington Levy. And Barrington Levy shut it down, honey.
Barrington Levy just had he had a performance recently.
Barrington,
yes. Else, right?
Well, so Barrington Levy wasn't even the headliner. Supercat was the headliner, right? And Supercat is old school. So yes. Barrington Levy is also old school, but Barrington Levy came out at the tail end of the set of the young artists, right? And so when he came out to do his little set, he got the crowd riled up, amped up, and he performed probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes longer than he was supposed to, because the crowd was just so engaged and loving everything he was saying, everything he was singing. And he came out a cappella. Let me just let y'all know. In an arena like that, where there's sound reflections bouncing off of all of the walls, it's really hard to sing on key a cappella. Barrington fucking Levy came out there and was doing all of his hits a cappella. It was incredible. And the crowd was singing with him. And then we gotta talk to production about this with verses, because then they after Barrington did his little mic drop situation, they proceeded to like take a break, right? Oh, and Busta Rhymes came on stage. I gotta mention that too. Busta Rhymes came on stage and literally got in the main camera's feet, like the eye of the camera, and was like, so versus, I'm gonna need y'all to find me a worthy opponent, and dropped the mic, right?
Okay, so wait, let's talk about that then.
Yes.
Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, worthy opponent.
Worthy opponent. And we did talk about this.
Yes.
So we think it would be super dope for Busta to go against Missy Elliott. Mm-hmm. And that would also be the first male and female.
Yeah,
look
versus?
at me. I'm just trying to get it right, okay? God damn it. Apparently we can't say female anymore. It's woman, but then everyone identifies as a woman. So I just don't fucking know. Male and female. Is that allowed to say? Male and female rapper.
Do we say biological male and female?
No, that's doing
a lot. Is that worse?
That is doing a lot.
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really
Me neither.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know. Well, because you can't say man and woman either, because that's what you have a choice to be, a man or woman. So female, male. But I don't know. People don't like saying female. I don't know. Whatever. So I think it would be dope though to see those two people go against each
also
other.
Because they have records with everyone, first of all. Second of all, there's reggae records, there's hip hop records, there's R&B records, there's pop records. I think they're two artists that really could go toe to toe, but
that would be dope.
It would be.
I would pay to see it.
It would be.
I would.
Well, because in my mind too, Busta's an incredible performer. So to watch Busta perform and then watch Missy perform, I would want every feature to be out there too. And I think that would be the ultimate verses. But yeah, so Saturday night, Busta came on. It was amazing. The energy was great. But then they took like an intermission, which allowed Supercat's band to set up. And during that time, a lot of people kind of like calmed down and like lost the adrenaline from the first wave of artists that kept coming out. And so it was kind of hard to keep up that momentum once they did a little intermission for Supercat.
Well, it was a whole versus weekend. We had our Sunday dinner last night, and we watched, of course, the verses with KRS-One and Big Zaddy came because goddamn, he was looking like a Zaddy on the stage. Even though I would never place a tracksuit with a fedora, just don't do it, fellas. I don't know. And mind you, that's like the age range that I'm looking at right now because he had a little salt and pepper. And I just want to say, black men
love a salt and pepper.
Can I also just say, black men? Y'all are aging so gracefully now. Yeah. Like I think my new dating age to date, like you got to be 40 plus.
See,
like
I feel like this swag, and this suit, this tracksuit, this energy.
Swag. That's the problem. It wasn't swag.
It was swag for somebody who's 53.
No, girl. I think he still could have done something different. Like a tracksuit with no shirt underneath, not even a wife beater.
Well, you have to remember, Big Daddy Kane was also an artist that went everywhere for probably 2 years with a fur coat on and no shirt on.
Wait, can I also say...
Like, if we pull up old pictures of Big Daddy Kane from the early 90s, it's giving big-ass rope chain and a fur coat.
Bridget, that's what we did do. So I need y'all as well to know, I didn't know shit during this goddamn verses. Y'all know I was born in 1990. Right. And really, according to 3 episodes ago, I didn't start my journey of hip-hop till in the 2000s because I was too busy listening to Ashley Simpson, Avril Lavigne, and NSYNC. But no, watching this last night, I was like, okay. And then like, what is it? Bumpy and Smooth? Who came up?
Nice and Smooth.
There we go. Nice and Smooth, Nice and Slow, whoever they are.
Not Bumpy and Smooth.
Two men came on stage, but one of them had like the 100 emoji on their jacket. What was that? That's Greg Nice? Nice is nice?
Yes.
And I just was like,
yeah,
sir,
I don't know about that outfit at his big age.
A whole emoji outfit?
I don't know about the emoji outfit.
I don't know.
Also,
and it was done in the Gucci colors.
Right.
So I was like,
Mad Lion came out as well, in like a leather short and oversized shirt set, which was cool. Listen, at the end of the day, like I said, New York has become the epicenter for verses, for the verses takeovers, right? But also I think
we have to let them know what our conversation was about too. What? So y'all, during last night's verses, again, because it's New York, and I guess they were bringing back old school shit, all these people like started breakdancing.
Yes.
Like they had a whole breakdance set, and I'm looking at these men breakdancing, and I'm asking Bridget, I said, were y'all fucking the breakdancers? I said, was this a thing? If
she
you was
said, wait, breakdancers were getting pussy?
I literally,
girl, every dancer who was dancing. But I said,
look at them. Look at that. I said, that is not cute.
You're also watching men in their 40s and 50s.
I don't care if you were
dancing.
I don't care if you was 19 and I'm like, look at.
Nah, because there was one little young thing that came on with a cute body and some dimples, and he was dancing.
And he should have just stood up. Like he didn't have to do all the dancing. Like he should have just stood there and like flexed his muscles or something.
Nah,
like,
dancing is sexy.
I'm not gonna lie. No, the breakdancing thing was just not. I tried to also do this little robot thing. It didn't go as well.
It did not go well at all.
It didn't go. But I'm literally watching this because since I moved to New York, I see it's showtime. Like on the fucking train. And I'm like, looked at my homegirls like, now bitch, would you fucking nigga yelling, it's showtime.
Well, I mean, not on the train. You're not looking like, yup, that's my husband.
What's the difference between dancing on a train and dancing on the sidewalk?
No, well, the question that you asked was, do the dudes that dance really get pussy like that? And I said yes, because in New York, dancing is a huge thing. We play Caribbean music, we play Latin music, and breakdancing. Dance culture is huge here.
Yeah, there's a lot of things huge here. So is riding the dollar van. We not out here fucking the jitneys. Like we don't want no dollar van niggas ain't getting pussy, or are they?
No, well, they're also
it's
not
a New York culture.
They're not performing. It's not the same. It's like this is a sexy. This is movement with their body. Dancing is movement with their body.
But
maybe
none of this. Like these crazy legs, you can't fuck me like that. Like it's not even like, now I can see, now mind you, when I grew up,
it's
dancing.
It's a skill. It's just a skill.
No.
Why are people turned on by athletes? Putting a basket in a fucking net is not sexy.
That is different, bitch.
No, ma'am.
It's the body.
That's
attached.
the body. That's all body. That's all body movement. Yes. That's all body movement, sis. You never, that's okay. You haven't. I'm not buying.
Oh, wait, so you fucked a dancer?
Absolutely. Back in the day?
Yeah.
When I was like in high school? Sure.
Yeah. Like a break dancer?
He wasn't a break dancer. He was a dancer. Yes, dancers can do incredible things with their body. They have incredible stamina, they have incredible endurance, and all of their muscles work well.
It's just really weird. Do you remember?
All of their muscles work well.
I doubt it. Not all of them. Not in them.
Have you ever fucked a dancer?
No, this is what I'm telling you.
Then you don't know. That's why I'm telling you. You don't know.
No?
No, baby.
No? Well,
you gotta fuck somebody that can dance.
Let me
real.
see. Wait, hold on. Let me think. Let me think.
Not even like bashment days. Like you was never dancing. You never grinding on a man that's standing behind you and you dubbing him and you feeling the dick. That was not sexy
so
to you.
If you want to alert my trauma, the way my daddy ain't shit, I ain't never want to fuck with no Jamaican nigga. I ain't even gonna hold
He didn't have to be Jamaican.
Me.
He didn't have to be Jamaican. He just had to move his hips like one. Yeah, you never experienced that.
Damn. Now that I'm thinking about it, like
you never
shit.
experienced that. That's why I say it is a part of New York culture.
I mean, I've been danced on, but I ain't fucking so when I grew up, it wasn't breakdancing, but
didn't have
But a lot of
this is not a good example.
A lot of people really were into Pretty Ricky, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all like the weird. And now if you go back on YouTube, it looks real weird. But do y'all remember when the niggas used to like hump the floor and the couch and they'd be in their living room?
Yes.
And they would like do the snake and look like they fucking air and be like,
It was passionate.
And I was like, now when you watch back now, you know what? Go on my Instagram page. I'm gonna post it
now
because it looks so fucking
now it looks
weird.
Okay,
it looks weird. No, I'm sorry.
Right.
Not into dancers. I'm not.
No, it's great.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm good on all this actually. I'm looking at it now. Alex, take it off the screen. I no longer.
I mean, watching breakdancers in their 40s and 50s is not the same thing as saying dancers. Period. Because I've seen some dancers that really be dancing. Not to say that this isn't, but it's just different. It's just different.
One of the other things I wanted to ask you. So Versus was one of these things that came about during the pandemic.
Yeah.
What else do you feel like is something that was able to live, like something that was introduced to us during the pandemic that stayed? I know for me, y'all know, I mean, well, first off, this podcast started kind of in the pandemic. And also I started a whole e-commerce subscription box company because I had the time to just sit there. This was done virtually. And of course, now we're seeing that it's being done in person. But can you think of anything else that maybe stemmed from the pandemic that's still like a thing? Sevon, do you know anything? Really?
I don't know.
I think this is like one of the main things that got us to our computers. Like, and Zoom. Well, I'm so mad I ain't buy stock in Zoom. I am pissed.
Zoom is definitely out of here.
Zoom is out of here. I don't know if it's publicly traded.
A lot of people got into day trading. A lot of people got into day trading. A lot of people started doing Forex. A lot of people started doing, getting on Robinhood, getting on a bunch of those other apps. I'm not going to say the other names because they should have to pay us for that. But
that part.
A lot of people got into day trading, stock options. A lot of people were expanding their horizons as far as business was concerned. Like you said, you started a subscription box. I think a lot of people ventured out and tried new things. But I don't know if there's anything that's been strictly. I think, but I also think this is the new concert, so to speak, right? Because I think now a lot of concerts are either expensive, and we can segue into the vaccine conversation, but for a lot of these concerts and festivals now you have to be vaccinated, and so if you're going to do it and you're going to spend the money to go to a concert, you want to see multiple acts and multiple people. So a lot of people will go to festivals, or they'll go on a lot of the tours now. Have a lot more artists on the lineup as well coming out, so that you get your money's worth for the tour. But
yeah,
I don't know if there's anything specifically to COVID though or the pandemic that's just
stayed.
Yeah.
Right. Well, do you want to get into talking some shit?
We can get into our vax conversation. I think we should knock that out.
Yeah,
because I mean, I think I do want to send condolences and say RIP to Colin Powell, who passed away from COVID.
Or so they say.
Complications around COVID. Well, complications around COVID to me just means that it's indicative of a multitude of things. But he's also been battling prostate cancer and has had Parkinson's disease as well. So he epitomizes immunocompromised. If we're being honest, he was vaccinated. For anybody that decides they want to start a debate around that, which I think is stupid and silly and completely counterproductive when mentioning the death of such a prominent figure.
I mean, it's unfortunate. I know you just mentioned debating, but that's kind of what we're seeing now, even with, it's like ESPN and the NBA world against Kyrie.
Right.
And mind you, Kyrie is one of 20 players that are currently not vaccinated.
Right.
Michael Porter something is another one. The young guy from the Orlando Magic is another one. And it's just odd. I know that Kyrie, if we can pull up the Kyrie. I don't know if I even want to play the clip because honestly,
I don't want to play the clip.
Well, no. Well, Kyrie said a lot of nothing, if you ask me.
Yeah, he did. But
he talked in circles, and I know that Stephen A. Smith went as far as to call him stupid, which is what led him to respond. And I think it's interesting. This is a commonly discussed topic at this point.
I'm disappointed because someone like a Colin Powell, who has an incredible history and legacy behind him. He was the first Black Secretary of State. He's from New York, so shout out to him. Born in Harlem and then raised in the South Bronx. He's Jamaican. But I think most of us in my generation really, unfortunately, associate him with, being a very dedicated member of a warmonger's cabinet. So that was very hard to shake. He was a huge part of.
But he was also 84, bro. Like
no, I know. I mean, I'm not talking. It
seem like it was a sudden.
I'm not talking about his death. I'm just talking about his legacy right now because it's going to be unfortunate to watch a lot of the conservative, right wing, anti-vax people use this as a reason and an example to try to urge people again against taking the vaccine. Which, by the way, is a very personal choice. And I had a good conversation with a girlfriend of mine earlier today who was explaining stuff to me from a big pharma point of view. And it's a little, she expressed some good points. But I do hate to see that a situation like this with someone like Colin Powell that's going to be the majority of the conversations around his passing, unfortunately, with right-wing conservative people. But neither here nor there. We are sending condolences to his family, to his children, to his wife, and anyone else that was near and dear to him. So
I ain't gonna hold you. If we went there and circle back and ain't got really much to say about Kyrie, I'd rather than not talk about the vax at this point. Like even on my other pod.
Oh no, we can talk about him. I just didn't want to play his clip because he said a whole lot of nothing.
But that's what I'm saying. At this point, it's a whole lot of people saying a whole lot of nothing. And I personally am sick of it. Even on my other podcast, when the conversation comes up, I just let my other co-host speak. And then next topic. What else is on the outline? I honestly, I'm sick of the back and forth. I do nothing but listen to podcasts, and so every episode on everything that I listen to, there's some conversation regarding the podcast. And unfortunately, there's a lot of things that are just being spewed out here from no information whatsoever. And at the end of the day, everyone that I know talking fucking eats fast food, does drugs, probably has sex without condoms. Like at this point, I don't want to hear everyone talking about, well, I ain't gonna do the research. What research? You're not a fucking scientist. And you don't do the research of everything that you put into your body. So I honestly don't want to hear it. You guys really don't know what's in the drugs that you take. You don't know what's in the weed you smoke. And we see the niggas is dropping dead with every fucking like fentanyls and is lacing things. And so this idea that, well, I gotta do the research, I don't want to hear it anymore. I honestly just don't want it. So what else do we have on the docket? I'm really that frustrated by just the conversation. Yeah. I am also friends with anti-vaxxers, and it's just like, listen. And then honestly, I'm also going on tour right now. Right. So I'm amidst selling tickets, and all these fans are hopping in my comments like, well, do I have to be vaxxed? If you're in New York, the fact that you even asked me, well, do I have to be vaxxed? You have to be vaxxed to go into every motherfucking indoor venue here in New York. Like, I'm just sick of it. Like, follow the state guidelines, and if you don't like them, move. Because apparently we're not all on the same fucking page.
Well, we haven't been this whole time.
This whole time. So I'm just, I really am annoyed. And at the end of the day, I also do not feel any sadness to anyone who's about to lose their job. So for those of you with no jobs, go ahead and start applying at Netflix, the airlines, the hospitals, because they're going to be hiring, because all these people that don't want to get their vaccinations are about to be fired. And at this point, I just have no sympathy for nothing. This is the world we live in. Put your mask on, get a vax. If you don't decide to, then deal with the repercussions of what is being set into place, because this is not only a national thing, this is a global fucking thing that's affecting us. Yeah. So if you don't want to be able to travel, I know that Mexico and Canada are now opening the borders for only vaccinated people, and this is now causing another argument. At the end of the fucking day, do what's best for you. However, we live in a democracy. Yeah. There have been laws and mandates and everything else that we have had to follow for all of our lives. No one's mad at the stop sign being red. No one's mad at the fact that we have to stop and let traffic go. And just, there's laws that have affected us our entire life. And if this is now a mandate, unfortunately, that people don't feel comfortable with, fine. But also live with the decision that you've made, which is even 100%. What Kyrie's doing. Live with the fact that you're not going to make this $200 million 100%. Or get your extension. And clearly he seems like he's okay with it. So you know what?
He is okay.
Now we're going to go ahead and talk about Meek Mill.
Oh, God.
Because
all of y'all meeking out here.
Everybody's meeking out here. And also, as per usual, Bridget and I have a different...
opposing views
on this. So Meek Mill, as you guys know, has received quite a bit of backlash for his most recent album cover for Expensive Pain. And it is, by the way, by a Black artist of the name of Nina Chanel. And I want to play the clip, actually, before we get into this. I do want to play the clip to his rebuttal to those who have criticized him surrounding his recent cover art. So.
Opinionated opinion.
So that was his response. And before we get into this, I do also want to say that Meek said that Nina is the shit. I don't think people really understand in the internet and the social world. We don't really give a fuck about the fake social world. She's a Black artist. She's a Black woman. She's been expressing herself through art. When they make movies about racism on the news, when they don't talk about little girls getting killed, and that's where you just heard the clip.
Yep.
But he pretty much prefaced his statement with talking about that this piece of art was done by a Black woman specifically. And I actually want to speak to it because I don't find offense to the cover art. I think it actually depicts exactly what the album is about. Expensive Pain. It's, it's three women. You have a man on there. You have dice. You have cars. You have money. You have palm trees. You have a yacht. I want to say that in a conversation that I had most recently with a Black artist out of Brooklyn, I want to shout out to Sean G. Originals. I worked with her during one of my boxes, and her art is focused on the female anatomy. So a lot of her art depicts the vagina.
Right.
And I even have a money clip, and it's the vagina looking like Virgin Mary.
Right.
And what's crazy is she's talked about how much her site is taken down or shadow banned, or she's not even able to promote her art because the woman body is found offensive.
Right.
And when I see this album, I think it's fucking beautiful because to me, if those were maybe light-skinned women, then it would have been an issue that they weren't depicted as darker-skinned women. And I mean, real quick, that's been an issue right now as well with the DC Club.
Right.
But it's just like, I don't know. I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I actually think that it's art. I enjoy seeing women art. And one of my also sides of this was, I remember Greek mythology, Roman history. And if you go into even the history books, back when I was in middle school and high school learning these things, you have nude sculptures, nude art, the little, I don't know what they're called, but my mom used to be obsessed with like the little chubby Victorian angels. Yeah. And they're little chubby fucking white kids that look like
cherubs.
There you go. I didn't know what the fuck they were called. They look like Cabbage Patch Dolls, but they're all fucking naked with wings.
Cherubs.
And it was like, my mom loved it and it was never an issue. And so I just find it weird. Again, we're in this fucking sensitive space, but I don't see an issue with this on a bus. Okay. But again,
I mean,
you have access to seeing so much more than something on a bus that I'm just like,
I don't think it's the nudity that people are. Well, for one,
that's what they mad about.
I do want to make mention of the fact that he is absolutely right, which is rare.
That's very rare.
It is. I think he's right. I think people, like we always say, people pick and choose what they want to be upset about, and people who are up in arms about this tour bus driving through their neighborhood didn't have that same energy when, peaceful protesters were getting beat down by police in the street.
Talk your shit.
And so I do agree with Meek Mill about that. Is that the volume is not as loud for social justice issues as it is for an objection to someone's art expression. The one thing I will say though about this, and I don't think it's offensive at all. I agree with you about nudity, but the overall picture of the cover art is about the lifestyle. That he lives. And the lifestyle includes strippers, includes sex workers, includes women, includes the over-sexualization of women. So I don't think the problem here is the nude aspect of it, but rather the sexualization of the body, which, as you've pointed out, is true. In Greek mythology, we've seen
so much
countless nude. Yeah, like countless random, white ceramic bodies that are, you know what I mean, that are on display all across Europe and considered these incredible art fixtures. But also they're standalone figures, right? Mm-hmm. Like even some of the art pieces that you have at home are still standalone figures that only are entities of the body. There's nothing else. There's no squeezing of a nipple. There's no, like, this woman is bent over. Like,
but I told you, maybe she picking something up, bruh.
Pussy out. There's dollar signs. There's a stripper pole. Sis has her tits out and holding a stripper pole. So
and you don't even see the coochie. It's just the titties.
I know, but the little coochie lip at the bottom of sis bent over is the little pink pussy popping out. So
I mean, but it's a little circle. If you really gonna look at it as art, technically it's a circle.
Mandii, she's bent. No. That the cheeks are blue. Sis has blue blush on. Like, come on, it's not about the color. It's about what the actual lifestyle image represents.
I love it.
In my mind, it's not offensive, right? But at the same time, I'm like, most artists don't necessarily, unless they have something that's painted like this, they don't put their cover art all over the bust. It's usually, the words, the actual title in a massive font. And it seems more in your face and intrusive and obscene. This doesn't give me obscene, but I can understand the point of view of a parent who, if a kid walks by and sees a painted image of a woman bent over, that's very clearly her cheeks and very clearly what is supposed to be her vagina. That's a pink dot. So it is.
I love that though.
It is something
talk to your kids about body positivity
that raises conversations. But I also, it's tricky because again, this is depicting a lifestyle that is not necessarily for children. It's not meant to be age appropriate.
Kids ain't got no money. They ain't got no driver's license. They can't. A lot of them motherfuckers ain't got no yacht. If you really look at the cover, this isn't for kids. It's not about kids either.
Not. But
why do we make everything about kids? Fuck them kids. Like, goddamn it, y'all be sitting here not wanting them to see this, but then you be pussy popping on a handstand during the barbecue for the 1-year-old's birthday, playing spades, drinking liquor, smoking weed.
You got a 5-6-year-old who's twerking and doing the WAP dance on TikTok. But that's, again, I'm not going to regulate people's parenting. But what I will say is, I think people are coming a little too hard at Meek for this.
Me too.
And I don't think it's that serious.
Everyone just wants something to be upset about.
Yeah, I don't think it's upset. But, it is what it is.
All right. Well, I think that's
moving on. Well done, Meek. Good job. Way to speak up for yourself.
Hold on. Let's give him a round of applause on that then. Good job.
It's true. Because most of these people that are outraged were not outraged when
black men were dying at the hands of police. But that's, again, neither here nor there. Right. I did want to revisit a topic that we talked about previously on our show. We gave kind of our own opinions on Jeannie Mai's announcement of being pregnant with Jeezy after publicly announcing that she didn't want kids. And that was also the reason for the demise of her former marriage. However, Jeannie Mai did respond. And when I read this response, it was like
very, very courageously.
Courageously. I want to speak to this, and then you and I can get into it. But she says that many women often feel pressure to have children and get married because of the standard society places on women. Jenkins explained that it was actually sexual abuse in which she suffered as a child that led to trust issues of raising a child on her own. She said that she didn't trust herself to protect a child, and the thought of the child dealing with trauma was what steered her away from motherhood, which I read that and my heart sunk.
100%.
She's now 42 and said that meeting Jeezy and the relief she felt after getting to know him and finding out that there was no pressure to have kids, as he already had 3 children prior to her, she said that their relationship blossomed, and so did her desire to build a family with her man and give their child the childhood that they never had. This was deep, and I'm glad that you even found this excerpt because I think when we sat here, we did go to the conversation in the fact that maybe it's your partner.
Right.
And maybe it's the person that she was with. Yeah. And here she did acknowledge the fact that she didn't have pressure to have a child makes her comfortable now. And I'll be honest, even in my non-traditional, I would say, styling of relationships, I do like to believe that because I don't have red lights and stop signs on so much that, okay, well, maybe there won't be a desire to, do that. However, that's always also not the case all the time.
Right.
But yeah, I think that we all know, even if as kids, if someone says, don't do something, don't press the red button, don't go in this room, don't do that.
Right.
We have the desire to want to do it more.
Of course. But I also think there's something to be said about women that don't make it about anything else other than not feeling confident enough to be a mom. Right? Because we always hear...
me. I'm selfish.
I mean, we've talked about this.
Yeah, I'm selfish as fuck.
Well, you being selfish is not the same as not being confident that you wouldn't be a good mom. Because you have some very nurturing attributes that make you a great caretaker. But there's other things about your lifestyle and your life that you don't want to compromise to be a mom. Which isn't qualified as good or bad. It just is what it is. In this situation, I think it's number one, I commend her and give her kudos for even sharing that she was abused as a child, and that has taken root in her consciousn's so harshly that even at 42 years old, she's just now beginning to release some of that trauma that her soul's been holding on to say, you know what, my heart, I survived that. My heart is ready. I was meant to be a mom. That's a beautiful place to land, right? After trauma, which I think is a goal that as women especially, we want to get to at any point in life, right? To get to that place of freedom, to get to that place of resolve where we can let some shit just fucking go and say, you know what? No, regardless of what happened to me, this is how I'm going to show up moving forward. And I think that's all this is, which is incredible.
I think this is beautiful.
Because I also think now, like she said, now she's ready to be a mom. Now she feels the significance of her healing enough to want to be a mom. And I think we talked about this on Patreon. If y'all are not subscribed to our Patreon,
we did. We went into depth on this
around motherhood, especially as it pertains to having a single mother, and as women working and doing our damnedest not to become single moms and not to make some of the mistakes that our moms made with us, and not to, you know what I mean? I think a lot of women carry that.
And it's crazy because a lot of the conversations too around even how we show up as adults, specifically in relationships, come from our families. And what's crazy is the only idea of how I want to show up as a woman and the type of partner I want is everything that my parents are not.
Right.
So I don't want to be anything like my mom in terms of being a single mother and having to do things on my own. And then I want everything opposite of my dad. And so when the idea of your parents is nothing that you want, now you're constantly seeking, well, then what else is out there?
Right.
What do I want then if I don't know what the fuck I want?
Right.
And I think that's interesting. But one of the things I wanted to touch about on this specifically is now that I'm getting into my 30s and I've had a whole lot of relationships with men, honey, women too. But there are so many things in which I was like, oh, I would never do this.
Right.
Oh, I ain't into that. This is me and I ain't changing.
Right.
However, even in my most recent relationship, so many things have been like,
I'll just spend a little on this.
Something else. Maybe we can live together. We just need maybe an extra room or something. But but there's a lot of things that I would have never considered with any of my past partners.
Right.
That now when you find someone that you trust and that you feel safe with, then a lot of other things, begin to be more realistic.
What's something that you have been staunchly committed to that you feel like could change or something that you change? One thing that's whoa, that sticks out to you, that's really identifiable for you, that you're like, oh shit, I never thought I would say that, never thought I would do that, and here you are.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Again, I think it has to do with who I know I'm able to show up now as a woman. I'll be honest with you, because I did grow up with so many friends that were into sex work and things of that nature. I honestly just thought I had to show up and be great in the bedroom, and that's it. So the idea of me doing the catering and the cooking and all of the things, because I'm also someone such against gender roles, I did not think that if I'm tired, you better have your own food. And what's crazy is there was a time where literally my partner came over hella late. My friends were in town and they knew how tired I was because we were leaving the city and I was sleeping in the car.
Yep.
And he came
Mandii
over.
love a nap, y'all.
Oh, I will nap anywhere.
Mandii love a nap.
I
She'll
will
be
nap.
knocked out in the car, even if we in there for 15, 20 minutes. We'll be in a full-blown conversation. I'll turn around, so Mandii.
And I could just fall asleep in any type of moving vehicle.
Crazy.
And what's crazy is it was really late, maybe close to midnight. And I was tired. My friends knew I was tired. He came over and I didn't bring him any leftover food from the city. And I was like, so what do you want? And I literally sat there and cooked him like a whole meal at like midnight. And I was like, I never thought I would be the woman to do even something like that. And like I said, also moving in with my partner is something that I've considered because I'm also, shoot me dead. I got off the Twitter threads and I'm also out of the mindset that my man has to pay all of the bills. So it's just like this idea of a true partnership is something where my mind is like, okay, I don't have to get with a man who pays for everything. Right. I can show up as a partner now. Yes. So those are a few of my things. You're in a relationship now and you're also 35. Yeah. What is there a drastic thing that you've seen change with dating for you?
Well, number one, I never thought I'd be in New York again. Let's start there. I always say that. So I was always like, no, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to stay in LA. I'll just live in the hills and you guys can just come visit me. I'll be sashaying around in my caftan. Moving back to New York was one thing I definitely said I never thought I would do until I was at a certain place, right? Or unless, like, my mother's a New Yorker, so she's never leaving. So if she, God forbid, reached an age where she just needed, 24 round the clock supervision or attention, I would definitely be here. You know what I mean? So that's one. But I think the other thing was really dating men with children. That was a huge no for me. Huge no. And mainly because most of throughout the last, I'm 35 now, so throughout the last like 10 years or so, anybody that I would come across that had children had young children. So having young children is also very different than having children that are over the age of 8 or 7, right? Like kids that have a little bit more development and personalities and routines and likes and dislikes, things like that. To me, now dating someone that has a daughter that's 9 is incredible because the role that I am expected to play is literally just like the bonus parent on top of the parenting that's already been provided for, right? And they figured out how to co-parent in a healthy way, in a beautiful way.
Said, Mom, let me send the little child back.
Well, the beautiful thing about that is too, right? With a young, and the difference is really with a young kid, it's like some of that stuff is still a lot. There's still a lot to work through with learning, with parenting, with like figuring out how you want to parent, with figuring out how to provide in different ways, whether it's financially, emotionally, otherwise being present physically if the parents aren't together. There's a lot of that stuff that requires a lot of attention. And I'm selfish with attention. So in my minds now, I'm also at a level of maturity where I never thought I would be okay sharing the attention with a kid. I know that sounds nuts to women. Women are probably like, oh my God, how crazy is it that you're competing for attention with a kid? I was never trying to compete for attention with a kid. But I also knew myself at earlier parts in my life, I would never have had the emotional capacity to not be like concerned about the relationship with the child's mother or, how I would be expected to show up for the kid. You know what I mean?
I think that's a thing too when you're younger, when you get into relationships, a lot of times, we have this idea of what a relationship looks like and you believe that you're number one in someone's life, essentially. However, when there's kids or if a man specifically is really close to his mother, you also have to realize that your place in that man's life may sit at number 4 or 5. And that's a lot of it, of a security that a woman has to know how to show up and play her role and not have to compete with the other women in the man's life. And I think a lot of women show up and are like, well, is you fucking your mama? Well, the mama got the kid. What you got to do? Like, I'm here. And I think that's where a lot of women do show up and want that number 1 spot.
Well, also because
it doesn't need to be that.
Because I think sometimes, and my heart goes out to men who have really worked tremendously hard at trying to establish healthy boundaries with family members, especially with female family members, whether it's a sister or a mother or a grandmother or children or children's mothers. Like, establishing boundaries is very, very hard for a lot of people. It's not an easy process. Even if you're somebody...
I'm learning that now, girl.
Yeah, like setting boundaries with people is very, very difficult sometimes. And so there has to be some compassion and patience around the adjustment that everybody is having to make, right? And so the older I've gotten, like I'm much more relaxed now around the idea that my partner has priorities that come before me, because I'm also a woman who's 35 whose priority is herself. So I'm my number one priority. My job is my second priority, and then my relationship.
Come on, see, the thing is your second priority.
And
I know that's right, girl.
Okay, see, the thing is, okay, top two. But it's true, and I think as a woman that has prioritized everything but children up until this point,
fuck them kids.
I am very understanding, but I'm understanding of not coming immediately first, because I participate in a profession, in a line of work, in a career that is going to have to come first more often than not. And I'm going to have to be with a partner that's going to be okay with that. So if I got to ask and expect my partner to be cool with, listen, we ain't got no time. And I commend my partner, because there's definitely been like moments in time where he'll sit me down and be like, listen, I ain't got it for date night. Like, I'm focused. I'm in a groove right now. I'm in a great groove at work. This is what's going on. I'm going to get to it. I promise I'm going to make it up to you. But right now I'm hitting a stride. Just bear with me. That level of communication and trust that I'm going to respond accordingly is beyond valuable to me. So shout out to you, babe, for that. But it's true. I respect, like you said, the older you get, the more you value partnership.
Well,
I think that's where we're at.
Well, that's where we're at. I want to go into.
Yes.
I'm going to try not to spill too much of my own personal shit here.
We know how that goes.
I'm going to try not to speak, but and get into too many details or anything. But I'm at a phase in my life where, of course, this has probably been one of the deepest relationships that I've had, and unfortunately, I don't have the tenure of heartbreak, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, I don't have the relationships that meant so much in my life, that from high school or my early 20s, my mid 20s, my late 20s, I didn't have relationships. I was out here being a hoe. And so I'm in a relationship where, damn, I've been hurt.
Yeah.
I've been hurt. And I'm in this place in my mind now where I'm like talking to my friends and I'm asking, how do you get past being hurt by your partner so bad that you feel as though the relationship, if you stay in it, will never be the same? The trust that you had for him is gone. How do you maintain a relationship? Because I know relationships aren't easy. And I know that you're supposed to genuinely work through them. And there are going to be roller coasters and ups and downs.
Of course.
And no relationship, no person is going to show up being perfect.
Right.
However, the idea of why even stay in a relationship when you know it may not even be as fun as it is anymore. Now if I continue, now how am I going to believe the words out of his mouth if I feel like I can't trust him? And think on it. I do want to play a song, only because y'all know this is a music pod. Well, it's a lot of things. But my friend...
all the things.
My friend understands what kind of like frustration I'm going through right now. And so she sent me this song. Shout out to Medina. She was Friends with Benefits.
Medina, we love you, boo.
Here on this pod. And I'm going to talk through this just a little bit because it plays a lot of music in the beginning. But this is actually Rihanna J. It's called If You Won't. And this is pretty much saying, like, again, as a woman, if a man isn't going to show up to who you need them to show up as, why stay? So. Halloween Horror Nights. Can you? And so, Bridget,
wow.
Do you have
Do I?
Do you have
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, like and for those of you listening, this is something that I would love if you guys could DM me, because I'm like in between a rock and a hard place right now. Yeah. Which is, by the way, that saying is stupid because rocks are hard. And if it's a rock and a hard,
that's the point.
Oh, you're between two hard places.
You're between two hard places.
Oh, is that the point?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate the English language. But yeah, so
it's like neither option feels great.
Neither option feels great, but I also know that pressure makes diamonds.
It does, but it can also burst pipes.
Oh, that part too.
Yeah.
And so as someone who's held so many even long-term relationships that had ups and downs, when something came about, and I know you also spoke about cheating being something that can definitely cause a wrench and heartbreak. How do you choose to stay in a relationship where you're hurt?
I think it depends on how you define the second chance, right? Like we always talk about second chances in relationships and how that affects and impacts the future and the foundation of a relationship, right? Something that my partner and I have really granted each other grace with is in this first like year and change of us dating has really been identifying things that were learning curves versus really blatant decisions in a certain direction, right? So like learning each other's triggers, learning each other's love languages, learning how we need to receive love, but also how we express love and how to accept that. That takes time. And a lot of that time is, if it doesn't take time, then it takes a lot of trial and error very early, right? Which I think when people talk about how quickly relationships develop, usually relationships that are successful that develop quickly is because a lot of that trial and error happened in a short span of time. Where you kind of figured out things.
I was in puppy love for fucking a year and a lot of the beginning of the relationship.
I was in puppy love for about a month and a half, and then we started really having deep conversations around that shit doesn't fucking work for me. That shit that you said doesn't work. You can't do that. Well, that shit that I said, the way that I behave doesn't necessarily work. So we got to work on that if we want to see if that's going to be a thing. So we were very vocal about the stuff that was triggering in the very beginning, that was upsetting.
And we were in like
you were in La La Land.
We were in La La Land. We were in La La Land.
So when those conversations start to arise, right? You have to be able to distinguish. You have to have something to go by. So you have to be able to distinguish between what is somebody's patterned habitual behavior and frame that around what their frame of mind is when making some of those choices versus reactions to conversations that you've had. So like repeat offenses. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if he or she is making a decision around something that bothers you, like something I remember really being a prominent thought in my mind around relationships, right? When I took therapy years ago, and something that came up was, what is something that you want your partner to do consistently? Like, what is one thing that you need from your partner? And the one thing that came to mind was, think of me in everything that you do. Just think of me. Just consider me in whatever it is you're doing. It may not have anything directly to do with me, but just consider me. Think of me. If you're gonna argue with somebody at a grocery store that's gonna make you late coming home to make sure we can eat by a certain time, think of me. If you're gonna be in, you know what I'm saying? It's something as small as that. Just consider something that could affect me or hurt me or influence me in some capacity. Just think of me, because I love that way. I love that hard. And so, the only advice I could give to you would be to really number one, weigh the heartbreak and weigh the source of the heartbreak. Does the heartbreak really come from the disappointment, the sting of disappointment that the relationship may not be the same? Or is it really from what your partner just did or what he said or how it made you feel? Because in my mind, those feelings don't really ever change. And I think for some people, even if it's not a conscious thing, they don't have the capacity to think of you in everything that they do. And so a consistent behavioral, offense that indicates that you're not necessarily at the forefront of their mind in that moment might just be an indicator of their lack of capacity to really love you the way you need to be loved.
Right.
To make decisions to ensure that you won't be hurt, even if it's something that's not obviously it's not directly supposed to hurt you.
Right.
Like you're not with a partner that would deliberately want to hurt you, but even if it's something indirect, the idea that somebody that you're with, that you consider in the choices that you're making, especially considering the lifestyle that you guys subscribe to.
Right.
And the freedom and the trust and the respect and the fluidity and the vulnerability that comes with that, that's a tall order. And a lot of people are not built. The same way we say men all the time are like, yeah, I want a boss bitch. You do until she's your boss. You do until she's the head of the household. You do until you can't really manipulate her because she already been down this road with somebody before and she's not going to let you gaslight her. Yep. You do until her behaviors and her actions trigger you and make you feel insecure. So now you got to lash out and try to hurt her confidence because your ego is bruised. So the same way we could say that, a lot of men will get into situations or women will get in situations with somebody and think that, well, you know, love is enough. Love is probably I say this all the time, it's not the least important thing, but it's definitely not the most important thing.
It is. I mean,
respect to me is the most important thing. And if you respect me enough to, you know, make even small adjustments. Like there's certain things that my partner still gets wrong sometimes, but I notice he's making small adjustments. And if he missteps on something that we've talked about repeatedly, he'll look me in my face and be like, yo, my bad. I know we talked about this. I'm sorry.
That's where I also battle between the idea of what compromise looks like and what the idea of me really maybe wanting to change you. And I've never want to change someone in a relationship.
Right.
So to me, if I'm going to get in a relationship with you, it's because I accept you for you and all your faults, all of your perfections.
Right.
And so I do believe in compromise, but I believe that if I want to change you, then you're not the person for me. Like, I don't ever want to go into a relationship feeling like I have to change someone. And I think that I speak to women a lot on that. If a man shows up and you see exactly who he is, take him for who he is and don't sit here and look at him for the potential you feel like he may have by how you may be able to change him. I don't want to change someone.
Unless somebody agrees with an adjustment that
and that's the compromise
needs to be made, which in my mind isn't really, I wouldn't even count that as a compromise. It's just a commitment to wanting to make it work. And it's okay if the commitment to yourself outweighs the commitment to wanting to make it work. That just means we're not compatible. I think when approaching relationships, the hard thing for us to not do is not fall into and not play the qualifying game, which is you're wrong for this, you're right for this, you're wrong for this is bad, this is good, which is where things get murky when we are having conversations around compromise, because then it's, well, if you don't want to change this, then you don't care about me and you don't love me. No. That's just more of a priority, or that's just an ingrained behavior or a habit that just is who he is. And like you said, doesn't need to change.
But that's what I'm saying. But I'm also, it's just weird because I look at this from like all angles. And so I also don't want to feel as though all of the respect and positive things completely outweigh the one time of disrespect or negative thing. Like, so it's like, and that's also kind of what was asked of me. Like, well, think of all the positives and
that's
how
gaslighting.
Of course, I understand what it is, but also in a time where I look at a relationship and there is more good that outweighs the bad, do I sit here and let the bad define the relationship when it's not all bad? So I think that that's where I'm at, especially when I look at a lot of friends in relationships. There's no relationship that I want right now. Like in terms of like what I see from my friends. Yeah. So it's like, do I sit here and move away because he did one thing wrong when I do also see my friends staying for 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 things wrong? Like I have a friend that stayed with the same guy. She's been dealing with him for 7 years now and she's not happy, but she's with him. And there's really good things that he does, but there's also awful things that he does. And she stays. So I look at that too. Like, do I want to be in a relationship 7 years later and look right back to this moment where, damn, I may have been able to change the trajectory of my life had I not chose to go back and put up with something that may be the same thing over and over again. And I don't know, that's kind of just, I'm curious to like how women specifically, because we constantly get hurt by men. And yes, I'm sure, guys, y'all got your heart broke too back in middle school. But as far as
somebody broke your heart in middle school? Hell
yeah. High school too. But what I'm saying is, as women, like, when do we define enough is enough? And am I wrong as a woman for thinking enough is enough at kind of, you know, the beginning phases where there are things that, okay, maybe I didn't communicate it the right way.
Right.
Maybe I didn't set this boundary the right way. Maybe I should have. And so now, again,
well, I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but this is where probably this is the fundamental difference that I've seen between men and women in relationships, where women have zero ego and zero pride, and they don't apply any of that, and a lot of times men react out of ego and pride, and I think some women need to react more from ego and pride in these moments.
Well, yeah, that's why I ain't respond. That's why I'm sitting here today.
That's why the nigga got left on red. Okay,
you know, he got green bubbles. He ain't see I read it, but I read it.
Well, either way,
but yeah,
but that's what I mean. It's
but it's weird because I'm also one of those that do act pridefully, and it sucks because I'm also someone who is the president of the Ghosting Foundation.
Jesus Christ.
And I, unfortunately, when I just feel like, maybe none of this is going to get to the, solution that I really want. Why even go through all the heartache and the battle in the world, the wars and the confrontation? I'd rather just go ghost. And I know that that's not healthy either. So guys, I'm working on that through the book that I'm reading now in therapy. But
I love it. I love that for you. I love the books and therapy for you. I do. I think it's important. I think it's great.
Well, I hate these niggas for me. And this is also where when we spoke about, the LGBTQIA plus community in the beginning of this conversation.
What is the IA? Can you, what does the IA stand for? I want to learn this right now.
A is asexual. So anyone who is asexual is someone who pretty much just likes
identify.
people. Yeah. No. There's no identification. Asexual is just not a real, not huge on a connection with sex.
Right.
Their connection is more so through other ways, but also they really don't care about sex. They care about just a human connection. See, yeah. Asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction to others or a lower absent interest or desire in sexual activity. So yes, that's what asexuality is. And if I'm not mistaken, I is what? Is it intersex? Could you look that up, Savon? What is the I? And I should know this. Alex. I'm bad. I know there's so many others like sexuals now. Yeah, it is intersex. That's what I thought.
Okay.
What is intersex? Is people. Intersex people are individuals born with any of several sex characteristics, including chromosome patterns, gonads, and genitals. Oh, so this is the more, I want to say the correct way to describe the word, and I'm just saying the word because it used to not be a slur, but hermaphrodite.
Got it.
Okay. So intersex.
Perfect. Now we know.
So
the more you know.
But I say all of that to say,
yes,
fellas, we don't choose to like y'all niggas. I swear to God, they sit here and think gay people choose to be gay. Do you think we would choose to be straight? This shit is the ghetto, and heterosexuality and liking the opposite sex is fucking trash.
Man. Oh no.
And then you know what's crazy? So then wait, everybody know I'm bisexual. So here go hold on, because I'm about to stick up for the fellas real quick. So then all my homegirls are like, well, it's fine. Just take a break from dudes for a little bit and date women. Bitch, women is hard as fuck.
Or don't date anybody.
No, bitch, I ain't doing that. I like sex too much. I ain't asexual now. Bitch, need some sex. But with women, them hoes be needing so much goddamn attention, and I'm about to call them hoes, bitches, all that right now, because bitches is hard to fucking date, bitch. Oh. And look, I say bitches and then you the bitch too. But goddamn it.
Like, are we now? Are we? Do tell.
No, because women will sit here and say niggas ain't shit all day long, but in terms of what...
No, we are equal opportunity ain't shitters over here.
But in terms of dating a woman, like I'm about to be traveling weekly. Mm-hmm. Women need a certain amount of attention.
Yes.
That I don't have to give.
Okay.
And so right now I'm just like, damn, when the aliens coming, bitch? Just don't mind me ever.
I know.
But you know what? We did enough about relationship conversations.
Yes.
So I do want to get into some music because I'm excited about this week of new music. So go ahead and let them know what we about to do, girl.
We're about to let it freshly squeezed. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. That was a little bit more breathy. Is that the word, right?
I think we need to record that and then play it every week. We should
you're right. We might need to do that. Yeah. Hey, at this point, we need drops. We're only a year and change in. God damn it. Can y'all do anything back here, guys?
We need
what type of team do we have here? No drops, no nothing. Y'all don't even know I'm sitting here playing these sound bites off of MP3 files in a zip on my computer. No fucking DJ equipment, nothing.
Yeah, like no official drops, just
like
vibes.
None, just vibes.
No official drops, just vibes.
No fucking sound bites, just, fuck. And y'all was getting on my little pew-pew. I didn't have to find my own gunshots on YouTube. Pew. Nobody gave a shit, y'all. This is all shit that I found on YouTube and pulled that shit.
All right.
Anyways, let's get into it. I guess I want to start off... I had a joke, but I'm going to chill on the white people jokes. But we're going to start with... So Adele, guys... dropped her single from her highly anticipated album that is dropping on November 19th. She dropped Easy on Me, and in true Adele fashion, it has already broke all streaming records. I believe it was Spotify that said it was the most streamed new release or single in the first week or some fucking stat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to know what motherfuckers work for these stats shit. Like, who just be coming up with these stats, bruh? People just be throwing new ones out all day. And I'm just like, what the hell?
Also, like, who is coming? Which one of y'all is in the back counting all these streams?
Who's counting? I mean, the computer. Computer for sure.
Who is writing this data down? Like, somebody at Tidal is like, listen, Adele about to drop. All y'all got to sit at your computers.
Actually, you know what? I bet you it's put into an Excel sheet, bitch. Oh. And then you just filter.
That's
and
true.
Like put
That's
into,
true.
You know what? Shout out to the Excel sheets out here in these streets. But I'm going to go ahead and play Adele real quick. This is Easy on Me. And it is so beautiful. And can I also tell you,
this is fall music. Like this is the autumn solstice. Adele is the autumn solstice.
this is beautiful.
Easy on me, baby.
Now, I ain't gonna play it all because y'all about to hear this on every goddamn person's Instagram story and the radio station and all that shit for the next at least 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months because it hit so hard as soon as it dropped. I'll say I love it and I have a newfound appreciation for all this slow music, bitch. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, y'all know I could sex playlist my motherfucking ass off, but I've never really been heartbroken or hurt to really feel some slow jams. And bitch, the way I see, like, bitch,
it's hard.
I am new. It's like a newfound love for like these slow songs. And y'all know I love just reading into lyrics as well.
Yeah.
So I love this. I love this. Now, if we're gonna go on the opposite end of the spectrum here. What I didn't love was the single drop by Summer Walker. And we kind of spoke last week about our excitement to this Summer Walker project.
I'm still excited for the project.
Yeah. However, and the only reason why I also feel comfortable saying this, because y'all know I have such love for LVRN, but Summer came out as well to Justice on IG Live. For those of y'all who don't know Justice is a part of LVRN, who pretty much, he heads the label over there. And he chose for the first single from Summer Walker's Still Over It album to be X for a Reason featuring JT from the City Girls. She did come out and say that her first choice option actually would have been a song called Toxic.
Okay.
Which I ain't gonna hold you. As a hot girl summer wraps up, Toxic probably would have been the one to drop with. But I do want to play just a little sample, only a little because it ain't that good, of X for a Reason. And niggas be exes for reasons, but we go back to, so come on. Scream Man, can we pull up the lyrics for this? Because this is what I don't like about the song. Mind you, it does have kind of like the cadence of, I like the way you look at me. I like the times we spend, baby.
All right,
like...
yes.
Oh, you...
Nope, I think we
all
got the reference. Yeah.
You know the song?
I knew within the first 3 words. Yes. I like the... Yep,
okay,
you.
that's it. That's all.
That's all
I'm just saying, I like the little bop.
I like the bop, too.
I like the little bop. However, the lyrics were a little cringy to me. It was almost like, yeah, I go through your phone. Hold on, here she go. It's talking about that bitch is your ex for a reason though. Try me, trespass. Let me go to her fucking first verse. No, I'm the type to go through my niggas' phones. What you know about that? I don't know shit about that, by the way. For y'all listening, I don't go through niggas' phones.
I don't either.
Shit be on my nerves when it keeps ringing back to back. Fuck a bitch on. Stress is always the mindset I'm in, but an X game is not the X game I'm trying to play at all. Pretty much then it goes into the pre-chorus of asking, is she on your mind? You can go and do what y'all niggas always do and don't tell me. Pretty much what it is it's fucking a girl sitting here questioning about a man and the ex. And then JT comes in and it's pretty much like, well, I'll beat your ex's ass. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So why? So yeah, look, that bitch in the ditch for a reason though. She was singing on his dick with the easy notes. And that ain't even how she raps it. Now I'm sounding like Vicky Village. I'm just not gonna say her name on this podcast. But
ex for a reason,
bro.
So.
Ain't no motherfucking reason to be reasonable. You the type I slap out and you mad because a bitch got a bag in my back out. She is literally, this song is speaking to the ex of whatever nigga that they are fucking on right now.
Oh.
So the song is pretty much that you gonna fight the ex bitch of the nigga that you fucking with. And now it seems like it's giving pressed, bothered, and insecure. And I just know that we are expecting some greatness from Summer Walker. And this wasn't what I thought a single would entail. Like, I don't ever want to be a bitch that pressed on the ex-girlfriend. Ever. Ever. I do also want to say that internet was ablaze. They were emblazoned.
Emblazoned, were they? They
were emblazoned this week.
They were emblazoned all week.
At the fact that this album is wrapping up with Ciara's Prayer. And I ain't gonna hold you. That's been like a steady thing over the last 2 years of the ladies, the girls, begging for the prayer that Ciara did to land Russell Wilson.
Right.
Do you care about Ciara's prayer?
I mean, my prayers have been answered, so I don't personally. Ooh. However,
shout out to your man listening to the show right now. I know that's right.
My prayers are answered. I don't need a Russell Wilson. I'm good. But I
was about to say I don't need, and that's the bad thing. And okay. So hold on. Here we go.
That's not for me.
But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because a lot of people assume that women just love the bad guy type, and that's why people look at Russell Wilson like, yeah, he's corny, he's this, and he's that. And I think I'm not gonna lie. I don't want a bad guy.
No.
But I don't think I want Ciara's prayer either.
I mean, listen, what Ciara's prayer entails, you know what it is? Most of y'all don't want Ciara's prayer because you think Ciara's prayer is a cheat code and a detour to get what you want. What you need is Ciara's mindset when she decided to pray. Because in order for Ciara to even get to that place, she went through a lot of other shit, a lot of toxic shit. She went through a lot of healing that was really uncomfortable, both publicly and personally.
I was about to say, bitch, she went through Bow Wow, 50 Cent, and Future.
She was embarrassed.
Are you not embarrassed?
Are you not embarrassed?
Those niggas? Oh,
she was embarrassed. She publicly embarrassed. That internal pain that she was experiencing. You have to get to a place, ladies, where you don't want to deal with nobody until it's time for your person. And most women who are out here asking... That's why I stopped fucking with
these athletes, girl. They wasn't shit.
But, anybody who's looking for Ciara's prayer wants the cheat code to getting a good man. And that's not the answer. The answer is being the right woman. But, okay, carry on.
Ooh, you be dropping them goddamn bars.
Carry on.
All right, well, y'all know I'm starting with the hippity hop. And I just want to
say... Wait, so you didn't like this song? You don't like this at all? Okay.
I ain't fighting no nigga ex. And I ain't even giving a fuck about an ex. I didn't like the song. The bop was cute, but I also found, and I talk about this, and this is why I can't get the words right to songs. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like I could understand her the whole song.
I couldn't understand her either.
I couldn't understand
what I didn't like.
Goddamn word. It was like, it sounded like just real airy. Like, hold on, I can play.
Yeah.
So that y'all can see kind of what we're, to me, it wasn't even, the words were one thing, but to me, it was really...
Yeah, I don't understand most of what's going on.
I don't understand most of the words.
Her voice is beautiful, so I'm annoyed that I have to struggle to
But I think even there's just a lot of, and I don't know what it's called because I ain't never recorded a song.
It's a lot of backgrounds. It's a lot of call and answer. There we go. It's a lot of call and answer, stacked vocals the stacked vocals. That's what I was about to say. They're making it a little muddy.
Yeah,
so it's hard to understand what she's saying.
Maybe this is then overproduced. Is that what? Does that make sense or no?
Yeah, but it could be. But I also think it's hard. You're asking somebody who writes in that kind of cadence where there's a lot of words in a short time. She usually does that on a much more open track. So there's a lot less music. So you have a chance, even if she's saying something that's a little more sped up, you can still understand what she's saying. There's vocals, there's strings, there's the hi-hats all throughout. It's a lot. It's a lot on the track. So maybe it is a production thing. I'm not a fan of the topic, but I want to read something though. Okay. Because I think it's important to consider, right? And even to Summer, because I don't think she should have blamed anybody for the release of her first single. I don't think that was tasteful.
Oh, I did. Well, then real quick, before we get into what you're about to say, outside of our personal opinion on this, Summer did take to her social media. This is, by the way, right now.
Yeah.
She took to her social media to pretty much say that she did not choose this as her first single. She actually would have chosen a song called Toxic. And she literally went on live with Justice and was like, y'all chose this, not me. And yeah, it was just like, it gave a little cringe. I'd never want to make it seem like I'm completely out of control of a project that is not even released yet.
Right.
Especially when you have a high anticipation for it.
Right. But it's also like there should be a presentation of some unity, even if it is, like you said, something that you're kind of anti. I did want to read something though.
Talk to me.
That Barry Hefner posted on Twitter and then again on Instagram, and I thought it was pretty important for those of y'all who don't know who this Barry Hefner person is. He's the president of Since the 80s record, which is Earth Gang, JID or JID. I never know. I'm gonna have to ask because he's a friend of a friend, so I'm gonna have to get that right ASAP. My homegirl Asian is also on this label, so he's the head of this label, and he posted this thread, and I just want to read a little bit of it. Music fans, imagine this. You have a work project or task that you have spent countless hours, days, nights, months creating, and you are finally ready to present it to your team and boss. And that passion project you presented that took all that time to create, everybody tears down in 10 minutes. That's exactly what y'all do in the first hours of listening to someone's project. It's like y'all enjoy criticizing it more than you enjoy listening to it. If it takes a person 6 to 12 months to create something, you telling me y'all got that within an hour listen? As much as I hate it sometimes, I understand why certain artists are very limited with their output. I can't imagine pouring my heart and bearing my soul into creating something for strangers to try and dismantle it for the sake of having an online opinion in less than 2 hours.
I'll be honest with you. As a podcaster, the difference is we come in weekly.
Yep.
And what's crazy is we get criticized weekly, but we also receive love just as much weekly.
Of course.
And I think that that's something that's able to allow us almost the space to show up and not be as affected like most artists do. And we've talked about, how much you put into even your first album and what happened with that. And so I love that this space of digital creation and content creators, we're able to live and receive our flowers within a week. We're able to receive criticism, and then we're able to adjust right after. Someone like a Summer Walker, who may have spent literally the last year, she put each date, by the way, on her track playlist when the song was recorded.
Yeah.
Someone like that, you don't have the space to respond right away or tweak something right away. This is a project that I put my heart and soul to. Y'all are going to get it. And now you have to receive it, and I just have to sit back and see the criticism. And unfortunately, she definitely responded and saw that a lot of people were not happy with this first single.
Which I think is hard because I think we put a lot of pressure on artists to be able to make something that's going to be earth-shattering and world-changing in a short amount of time, and it's just not realistic.
Right.
For any artist. You know what I mean? It's like someone like an Adele probably has 24 records that you'll never hear that she might hate, that we might think are great, but she might hate. Right. And that will never see the light of day, but they were all part of the trial and error process to get her to where she is, which is the completion of a project.
Right.
And it is hard, especially, I wouldn't even compare the process of being a podcaster to being an artist because, truth be told, you're still showing up as yourself every single week. So
nah, I'm a little character. I'm not gonna tell them this me.
Okay, so
I'm a hypocrite,
right? So Mandi's now part of the Watchmen.
Bitch, I am a superhero.
Okay,
Tripod Mommy is my super alias.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just as it can be. I won't say it is because it hasn't been for me because ain't no punk bitch. But it can be debilitating for people who don't have a thick skin, right? It can be debilitating because you are showing up and you're sharing your thoughts. Boned. You're sharing your thoughts, right? Thick bone and thick skin over here. We just thick on this couch, okay? But we're sharing our personalities, we're sharing our thoughts, and people can write us off and dismiss us and completely disregard everything about our entire existence if we say one thing they don't like.
Yep.
And chances are they won't come back the next week to hear if they want to change their mind.
They come back.
Well, no, if they hate us, they come back because they want to find more shit to hate about us. So by all means, come on down. We welcome you. We want all the smoke. But for people, for artists that are taking their time to make stuff, they take everything personally, as they should. Because like this Barry Hefner said, it's like this is something that they're bearing their soul. So of course they want to take their time with it and make sure it's right. But also, if I'm being honest, even as an artist, sometimes we take our time because, number one, we need to live through some things and get through some things before we can really bare our soul. We have to heal a little bit in real time so that by the time we're sharing it, we're not in the thick of it, right? Like even Adele, and I mean I've always said that about songwriting for myself, right? I don't write my best shit when I'm heartbroken. I have to wait till I'm a little bit over it to start my process of recollecting. Because if I write when I'm in the middle of my shit, I'm not always confident in my feelings, and they're likely to change. And so my thoughts around what I'm feeling are also likely to change. So I don't want to necessarily devote all of my time and energy into creating something that may or may not be healing, and because it's not always healing for me. Sometimes I'm ripping off scabs of things and don't even realize that I'm not ready to share, right? There's got to be time between when we create and when we share. Adele's Easy on Me is clearly about her divorce, or the more so the ending of the relationship, even if it's not the divorce, because most divorce proceedings take months, sometimes a year or two to really finalize. So this is obviously a song that she didn't write last week.
Well, no, so she actually recorded this song October 4th of 2019.
Yeah,
which I find
2 years
interesting.
ago.
But that was also, if you guys also saw the constant back and forth with all the baby mamas and London's exes, this was probably like, I'm there, and so I'm not gonna hold you.
Well, she may not. The
I'm
problem
ready
is
to listen to about around track 12 when you know she was probably super over London,
and she may not even be in this space anymore, which is also maybe why she didn't want this to be the first track.
Yeah,
because she may not want to have to relive all of the conversations around what this song might have represented for her at the time, which I can relate to wholeheartedly.
100%. I feel you on that. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get into the hippity hop beat.
Bring it home.
So y'all know I stan Young Thug.
Yes,
Thugga. He actually it was amazing because he was a part of J. Cole's KOD tour, and so I love even seeing him live. And of course, a lot of people don't respect him as much, but I've also come onto this pod and told you guys how much I love Slime and B. That was his project with Chris Brown. But he recently released Punk, which also the album cover of this is phenomenal. And I sat here and started listening to a lot of the tracks. And one of the ways in which I listen to new music, especially new albums, is on Apple, they put stars next to the ones that, received the most listens. And ironically, the songs that I actually took a liking to are ones that did not have stars, but I normally do like album cuts. And two of my favorite songs on the entire album, I do also ironically love Peeping Out the Window featuring Future, but he has J. Cole on this album, Juice WRLD, Post Malone, Drake, Travis Scott, Doja Cat, Mac Miller, which is awesome as well. But two of my favorite songs, I'm only going to play one of them. But the first one is Stupid / Asking. That is number 3. And I'm actually going to play right now Contagious because it just resonated with me and where I'm at right now. So this is Contagious by Young Thug off of his new Punk album. I love it. Really, it was contagious. Right. And bitch, it ain't. You can show up as real as you motherfucking want. These niggas still gonna show up phony as fuck.
That's the type of people I hate.
That part. So yeah, like I said, I really, 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 really love this project.
Did you watch their SNL performance?
Oh, Thugs?
Yeah,
no, I didn't.
They performed on Saturday, I think.
I know he just did Breakfast Club as well. So he's doing his whole little press run right now. No, I need to watch that. He performed with Gunna, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a clip of it.
They did it for their promo, yeah.
Yes, but I didn't get a chance to actually watch it. I really like, and I know we didn't really talk deep about it last week, but I really love what's going on over at SNL. Like, they giving a lot of people some say, and we didn't talk about Kim K last week.
No,
even though we started with her song.
We started with her song. We didn't get to give her flowers because she did her fucking thing.
She did her
SNL
fucking thing. And you know what? Let me also just tell y'all.
And so did Gunna and Thug. Look at this.
Do you see these pink
and this red with these furs?
By the way, I have that red jacket. Maybe not the same one. I'm sure he got the expensive one. My shit came from Zara, but it looked the same, bitch. And now I'm about to do an all red ensemble. Can we come on the couch looking like this one day?
I love this.
Can we do this?
Yes.
For Halloween, maybe we come on as Young Thug and Gunna.
Oh, look at Tim Stewart. Yes, look at Tim Stewart on guitar. Shout out to Tim.
Oh, he looked good with it. All right, no. All right. Oh.
And Travis Barker. Tim Stewart played guitar with me a couple times.
Yeah, you should tell him
he's
I
a
said
dope
what's
guitarist.
up. That's dope. I want to tell him he's a dope guitarist too.
It's not who you know. Tim
No?
Tim is the guy with the jacket, not the one with no shirt.
Oh.
That's the bass player.
I'm definitely.
Yep, you looking at the bass player.
Oh, wrong instrument. My bad.
They look alike. It's okay. It's an electric bass, electric guitar.
Wait, what? Yep. Okay, so I'm looking at the one with
He
no
was looking
shirt.
at the bass player.
Oh, my bad. You don't know. You don't know him.
I don't know him.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I'm looking at Tim with the dope ass jacket because his fit is fire too.
Oh, yeah.
I like
Okay,
that jacket.
shout out to him.
Yes, go Tim.
Well, you
Killing
can
that
still
guitar.
tell him I want to know the
it's an
other
acoustic.
guitar player.
That's a red acoustic guitar.
Yeah, see,
Never mind, I take that back.
this set even looks dope.
Gunna has
Does he have a cape?
A train? The coat has a train. I love this.
Oh
I'm
my
all
God,
about this. And look at Thug's little belly.
Oh my God, look at Thugger with his
Thug's
goddamn mesh flower top
Look
underneath.
at his little belly over his
goodness.
pants. Yes, go off, Thug.
Oh my goodness. I'm here for it.
And Gunna has a beret on. I'm here for y'all. I am here for y'all.
I'm here for this. I love them two together, by the way. They have 2 songs on this album, and pretty much every Thug album has Gunna on it. And I love them two together. I just really do. I really, really do. So shout out to, again, the album is called Punk by Young Thug. If you were not into Young Thug, let me go ahead and tell you a project I say you should start with. If you're like, Young Thug, never really been able to get into him, probably my favorite project from him was released in, I'm going to say 2017, Beautiful Thugger Girls. Yes. First off, Alex, how do you know which one I was going to say? Wait, and I'm mad he's not in the room. But literally, guys, as I'm sitting here looking, because the date is not on Apple, he's circling it on the screen. So this is by far my favorite project from Young Thug. And one of my favorite songs, ironically, features Quavo. It's called You Said. And it is actually, if you don't think this nigga is good, it is a 6.5 minute song. So please check out You Said featuring Quavo. This is on the Beautiful Thugger Girls album. And by far what made me fall in love with Young Thug. Oh. So y'all check that out.
Well, you know what I'm about to bring y'all
We
to.
already know it's some
You
R&B.
already knew I had to bring y'all to some R&B.
R&B. Yeah.
Forever. Yeah, so my girl Kirby, for those of y'all who don't know who
You
Kirby
played Kirby
is,
here before.
I have played Kirby before. She is a phenomenal writer, y'all. I mean, listening to this project really gave me tweet vibes, and anybody who's like a
Step off my shirt,
Yes.
up over my head.
early 2000s,
Oh,
mid
my.
2000s tweet energy, beautiful voice, beautiful pen. Kirby's a star, always thought so. For those of y'all who are not, she's also a writer. So for those of y'all who are not familiar with her writing, she did Demi Lovato, Tell Me You Love Me. She wrote, what's the other? There's a Beyonce record I love. Die With You, one of my favorite Beyonce records. She did 4 or 5 seconds for Rihanna and Kanye and Paul McCartney. Just a couple,
damn.
Just a couple. She's done Ariana Grande, Keisha Cole, J-Lo, Kelly Rowland. She's a beast. But she released an album called Sis, He Wasn't the One. Okay.
Oh God! Can you stop triggering me?
I'm sorry.
Is this a sign?
Well, now I'm gonna have to go into the studio again with Mandii so I can write for Mandii's trauma. So we're gonna have to do that because this can't be the Chocolate Starfish project. We're gonna have to do some other shit.
No, this gotta be another type of project. This gotta be
some other shit. But so Kirby's album is called Sis, He Wasn't the One, and this is a 10-song project. Very short songs, which I was surprised about.
Okay.
Because I've been having conversations with some other artist friends of mine, and we all agree unanimously that real singers and writers and artists need to bring back the bridge. We need to bring back that middle 8 section of the song that comes after the second verse, second chorus, and do a little chord progression change, maybe a musical break. We missed that.
You know what's crazy? Young Thug did that.
Yeah.
In the asking questions song.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the end of it is so beautiful. I'm gonna play it for you after
Ty
this.
Dolla Sign does it. Division is doing it, which I love. I'm very happy to hear that a lot of artists still value the bridge. But I do think that that's something that's been lost, right? And a lot of songs, I was surprised that most of these songs are like 2 minutes, 2:30.
I ain't gonna hold you.
And they're great songs.
They're great?
But they are short.
Because there's a song that J. Cole did on one of his projects and it was only 2 minutes and I was sad.
Like a lot of these songs to me could have gone, like the song that I'm gonna play could have gone for a little bit longer.
What's this one called?
This is called Boys to Men. And
niggas stay boys, bro.
And
they'll never make it to men.
I love her voice. I love the music. I just love all of it. So this is Kirby, Boys to Men.
I like it.
Huh.
Don't they all?
Hello?
Oh, cheating ass niggas. Ooh.
Huh. Aren't we all, sis?
No Hennessy, y'all.
That's how you sing sad songs. Is drinking Hennessy.
You right, bitch.
Hennessy is a sad song.
Hennessy will make you cry. God damn. I don't cry on my vodka soda lime. That dark though? That dark hit your emotions.
Shout out to Kirby, man.
Shout out to Kirby. We all sick of these men acting like boys.
This project is really, really good, man. And it's not too long. It doesn't drag on. It's great. It's 10 songs. It's just dope. It's really dope. Live, she's incredible too. The vocals, listen, that's it. That's all that I ever ask for from a performance. Just let your live vocals match the track. You know what I'm saying? You be singing on this track. I want to hear these live vocals, and Kirby got the live vocals. So shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, man. Freshly Squeezed this week.
Freshly Squeezed. Yes. So y'all check that out. We played quite a bit of music today.
We did.
But let's get into the shit we don't care about.
Oh, yeah.
You ready for that?
Yeah. Oh, wait. I do want to congratulate Candace Parker and the Chicago Sky.
Oh, because we do care about that. I'm not going to
care about that.
We could have added that to TV technically, right?
I mean, we could have.
Okay. I also want to give a huge shout out as well to Chastity Melvin.
Yes.
So Chastity Melvin is the one of the coaches for the Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix Mercury.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I wasn't going to say Suns. But because I ain't shit with the Phoenix Mercury, which by the way, I've actually and she also knows I'm a fan of because I was a huge fan of Brittany Griner even back when she was at Baylor.
Yes.
And then I had to unfollow her because she kept posting her wife, and it's just like, girl, I just want to see you. You're fine, just you. I don't want to see your partner. But no, I want to give a huge shout out because also just seeing kind of like this be celebrated. One of the things as well with Chicago bringing home the first WNBA trophy is the fact that Candace Parker led this. And what I found amazing is that just 2 years ago, they were discussing how Candace Parker was one of the most overrated players despite her stats. And so I think that this is awesome, especially considering Parker actually grew up in Naperville, Illinois. So right near Chicago. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing to see this. Just I don't know. I just love it, and I want to shout out to both teams involved because I know they both played extremely hard, extremely well.
But also shout out to all the celebs too that showed up for the WNBA season this year because we have not seen this. We have not seen this as frequently as I would have hoped. Right? We don't see it, and a lot of people have a lot of the star franchise players in the WNBA have been really prominent in commercials now, in ads, and so it's really great to see women's basketball being advertised and pushed that way. Chance the Rapper was also, oddly enough, ESPN actually posted a video congratulating the WNBA team, and it was with Chance the Rapper holding the trophy.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Scream Man, you pull that up? It was ESPN's Twitter. They tweeted a congratulatory video.
And it was Chance.
And it was Chance the Rapper with the team, with the championship t-shirt on, and
that's hilarious.
And people were commenting like, so y'all were just gonna post Chance and
not the team
Chance
that actually
holding
won
the trophy, right?
That's crazy.
So it was pretty funny.
I think it's amazing. They look so happy. I know, like,
WNBA champions.
Right
Chance holding the trophy. Like,
that is funny. Yes. But also I do love the pride of him feeling like a championship is being brought to his city by amazing. The WNBA when the WNBA is not respected a quarter, an eighth as
or
much as
paid and paid handsomely enough.
Well, that's the crazy part too. A lot of these players, though they are WNBA champs, a lot of them will now prepare themselves to go overseas to make up for the money because a lot of them actually do make as much as like school teachers, which is sad. A lot of them make less than $100,000 a year. Yeah. So
I did see somebody post something.
I do want to give a shout out. There is a woman head coach in the WNBA who just marked history in making the most ever. I believe she just received $22.5 million a year to coach WNBA. Do you have the name?
No, but each Sky player will receive a bonus of $11,356 for winning the championship.
Stop it.
And the Mercury will receive $5,678 for being runner-up.
Stop it.
So
stop it.
If you ever wonder why women are so angry about the fucking gap in salaries, it's because of shit like that.
And what I also love too is there was a picture of a packed stadium, and it was like pretty much in air quotes, "Oh, no one attends WNBA games."
Yeah.
So I just love that this has received kind of.
They're getting their flowers. They're getting their flowers.
They're not getting their coins, and I'm hoping they definitely make some more.
Yeah, the average salary for a WNBA player is $120,648.
Yeah, and just in 2019, it was $74,000.
Sheesh.
Yeah, less than $100,000. Literally just 2 years ago. But that does kind of show the strides that the WNBA is making, and I'm happy for that.
And more power to you, ladies. Keep it up.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get into the shit that we do not care about.
Yes. Now we can move on to the shit that we don't care about.
Because we do care about the WNBA.
We care about the WNBA.
We do.
And this is not a sports podcast, but we do care about women. So there's that.
We do. Where do you want to go first? We've already talked about Kyrie. We don't have to talk about that. You know what? I'll start with my shit I don't care about, and you can go to your shit you don't care about.
Yeah.
So as much as we've come on here and talked about body positivity and things as such, Lizzo, yes, we're bringing her up. God damn it, again on this fucking podcast. If you guys were not aware, Cardi B recently threw a party for her birthday. And Lizzo showed up in what looked like kind of a long sleeve rendition of what Rihanna wore. So it was completely see-through, kind of with rhinestones, definitely shiny. But however, her whole body exposed underneath. And of course, she received.
Ooh, it was like glitter thread.
It was it was cute. It was like glitter mesh.
Yeah.
It looked like Rihanna's ensemble that she wore. And of course, because people in America are just not comfortable seeing a plus size body, she received a ton of criticism for showing up to the party in that way.
Which, by the way, was the perfect outfit for that party.
You know what I mean? You feel me? Bitch, you see what I mean? It's nice. It's cute. Of course, no one wants to see a big woman flaunting, I would say, confidence.
It's fat
and being happy. Yeah,
that's all it is. Because Drea was adorned in a rhinestone, barely there outfit last week. Yeah. And she looked incredible as well.
Yeah.
So shout out to Drea. But what we're not going to do is act like Lizzo did not body this look.
No, she absolutely bodied the look. The problem that I have, she decided to answer to her critics while going on Instagram Live. She was pretty much yelling into the camera, turned around, bent over, and gave all of her haters her ass to kiss, literally. And if you see right here, she looked like she was in the studio. She bent over and said, "Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass."
I'm crying. I'm crying at this fake pixelation.
Yeah, no, the pixelation is wild.
The pixelation was for just her ass crack. Like, what was the point?
We're seeing everything. You could have just showed the crack.
You could have just shown it. Like, it's not doing anything. The pixelation is a waste of time.
Here's my thing. We've had a lot of these conversations with Lizzo, and I'm someone, and also I want to bring up to this the fact that Jonah Hill recently put out a statement, which I do want to speak to as well. Jonah Hill, and this is going to be summarizing it because I don't know. Scream Man found it so fast. Oh my God, you're so good at this. God damn it. Okay, so Jonah Hill recently made a post where he deactivated his comments, but he said, "I know you mean well, but I kindly ask that you not comment on my body. Good or bad, I want to politely let you know it's not helpful and doesn't feel good. Much respect." And if I'm not mistaken, Jonah may have also underwent the same weight loss surgery as myself with some sort of gastric where he went and lost a drastic amount of weight. And I think that that's the thing. Whether a big person loses weight or doesn't lose weight, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right.
I remember a lot of people saying I had got as low as into my 150s.
Right.
And people were saying I looked sick. And I'm just like, in my 150s, I'm 5'1". And now I've gained weight back, of course, since the pandemic. And I'm still getting like, "Oh, I thought you lost weight." And so it's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right.
I want to speak, however, to the fact that Lizzo, while you sit here and are such a confident fucking woman, and you embrace, and you have so many women looking up to you who are your size, bigger, smaller, and all the facts, this does not show confidence. This does not show that you're not affected by comments. And while there's no way we can stop those comments, I do want to sit here and just say that I wish you the best in healing, and I truly want you to be confident, because when I see things like this, it makes me feel as though you're walking around with a false sense of confidence. And I'll be honest with you, that was me. That was me, where I was the life of the party. I was loud, and I bagged niggas, so I thought I was confident. And in reality, I wouldn't even want to shop for clothes. I would go into dressing rooms and cry because I couldn't fit anything. So even when my friends would be like, "Bitch, it's cold outside and you're in spandex." Well, bitch, this is what I can fit. Right. Leave me alone. I'm in New York. I couldn't fit boots above my calves. And so even though I showcased this level of confidence to everyone else, it was false. Right. And I feel like that's where Lizzo is. I feel like she's embracing her weight because she knows that it's not something that's going to be lost overnight. Right. And so let me just sit here and parade who I am and be as though I'm confident and showcase my body. But all of these comments are affecting her. When you're really confident, I feel as though these don't get to you. And I do want to say that's where I feel Jonah Hill made the correlation, where it was just like, don't even tell me I look good with my weight loss. Don't even tell me you want me to go back to being fat. Don't comment on my body or my size at all. Can you just leave that alone and acknowledge me for who I am as a person?
I think the difference in positioning, though, for someone like a Jonah Hill and someone like a Lizzo is that Jonah Hill doesn't discuss his weight loss.
No, he doesn't.
Ever. So it's not as if that's a conversation he's ever invited the public to have with him anyway. And so I think that's a different boundary for him that represents something different to him, because it was never something he was really trying to discuss with the public.
Right.
Like, he wasn't coming out like, hey guys, let me share my weight loss secrets. Like, he wasn't doing a commercial. Right. He wasn't on IG Live telling y'all to tune in to his, his workout. None of that.
Right.
But with Lizzo, I think the part that's been very hard, and I empathize with her, but especially because we are in a pandemic and we haven't heard a lot of music. Unfortunately, the only moments where we've had a chance to experience her or see anything else about her is when it has to do with her body.
With her body,
and so the conversation has been centralized around her body, when in actuality she's an incredibly talented artist. And so I would love to see more. I would love to see more. I'm not going to comment on her body because I don't want to tell a woman what she should be doing with her body. But I will say that I want to see more from Lizzo because she is an artist.
Yeah.
So I want to see, like, there were shoots that she did like a year or two ago that were beautiful fashion shoots where the emphasis was on the hair and the makeup, because she's a beautiful woman, a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
So the emphasis is on other things other than just us constantly talking about your body. If that's the only thing that you're ever showcasing for the world to see, even telling people to kiss your ass, it's very difficult to discuss the other things when that's the conversation that she's driving now. Yeah. Like, beforehand, it was like, all right, y'all bullying this girl for no reason at all. Now she's the driving force of a lot of these conversations. And so if the only times we're really seeing you in the public eye is when you're naked or when you're telling everybody to kiss your ass, it makes it hard to
for people to find something
else to talk about as it pertains to her. With Jonah Hill, it's like, bro, we've seen countless movies of Jonah Hill where he was Jonah Hill before he lost weight, and Jonah Hill when he lost weight, Jonah Hill when he looked like this, and there's other things obviously that in the pipeline of conversation we can have that will kind of eliminate. And also, because we live in a microwave era where the news cycle is so fast and there's so much new shit, there's so much time for her to give us something else. There's so much time. And she's creative enough, right? Like, I loved the interview she did with David Letterman last year on David Letterman's show.
I loved it.
I fell in love with her watching that interview.
Me too.
Because it was just like, yo, she's hysterical. She's funny as shit. She's incredibly articulate. She's eloquent. She's smart. She's funny. She's bright. She's attentive. She's paying attention to.
Has she done SNL?
Yes, she has.
Like, but as an actor, not a performer.
No,
but
as both.
Yeah?
I believe she participated in both. Can you pull that up, Scream Man? I want to say she did it twice. I think she only did it once, though.
Okay. But I only bring that up
still,
because that's a space I would like to see her being spoken about.
When we have more the SNL. Can you bring up Lizzo SNL? I just want to see when she did it, because she did an incredible performance.
But did she do skits as well?
Yeah, I believe she did. It was Truth Hurts. Maybe can you type in Lizzo SNL skits?
Yeah, I just don't know. No, I think she just performed.
Celeb game show.
See, none of these
with Eddie Murphy. Yeah, so maybe she didn't do. I thought she did, but
I would love to. She performed, but I would love to see her in like.
Yeah, but I feel like most performers will usually do a skit, but maybe not. Either way, I feel like she's got the personality for skits.
Agreed.
And we could definitely see her. Yeah, Cut for Time. So she did like a spoof with some of the cast members, which is cool. But either way, I hate that so much of the emphasis and conversation is around her body. It's really annoying. But I also do think that at this point, she is a big enough star that she's driving the conversation. So she could tell people to kiss her ass. I think people would be less irritated and annoyed by it.
If she wasn't nude.
Not even if she wasn't nude. It's like, we wouldn't give a fuck if you playing the flute every 5 minutes. If you playing the flute and you shutting people up and you releasing a freestyle because she can freestyle. If you releasing, yo, I'm working on this incredible clothing line, or I'm working on makeup. I would love to see Lizzo do a fucking collab with MAC makeup.
Mind you, the crazy comments under it were all pretty much saying, if Lizzo can do this and keep her IG, give Boosie his IG back.
Which is disgusting. Y'all,
people ain't shit.
All of y'all need to shut up. No. I think that's what it comes down to for me. I think she's a really incredible talent and a really incredible artist, and there's so much more to her than this. Now the power is in her hands to drive the conversation and drive the car in a different direction. She
didn't have a long time to do that, and I think she's still leaning on it. That's why I said it's a false sense of confidence, which is unfortunate, in my opinion. I don't know, but that's kind of what I gauge from it.
Well, Lizzo, we love you, sis. Either way.
And what shit don't you care about this week?
So,
bitch.
I don't give a fuck about this hot sauce, this hottie sauce that Meg just did with Popeyes.
Why? Just why did she do it either? Okay, well, for a check, of course, but
right. Well, I want us to stop doing things for checks. I want us to do things that...
Wait, hold on. Savon is laughing. Wait, girl, we just went through a motherfucking pandemic and you gonna tell me I can't do nothing for a check?
I want us to be strategic around... Well, first of all, there's a couple things.
Not you want me to stop doing shit for money, girl.
No, not all things, sis.
Girl, do you know who I am, bitch?
I know.
What I gotta do something strange for a little change, for real. Baby.
No, you know what it is? You know what it is that bothers me about this, right? The same people who will fix their mouths to be offended by Lizzo showing their ass and who have... Okay. You are cut off now. Mandii dropping the wine bottle. And she's spilling it on me. Good empty. God. Nope, there's wine on me, sis. It's all right.
Sorry.
The same people that will fix their mouths to be fat-phobic about Lizzo's body are flocking to Popeyes. Flocking to Popeyes for Meg Thee Stallion's hottie sauce. So let me tell you what my problem is.
We was just doing it for a chicken sandwich. So,
but this is my problem. So we're fat phobic, but we're gonna fly to fucking Popeyes for Meg's hot sauce?
No, girl, it's just down the block. We gonna walk.
No, y'all not gonna walk. Y'all gonna drive. Y'all gonna drive. You gonna drive to Popeyes for that?
Well, not the mukbang type of video.
There's a couple problems that I have. I don't have a problem with Meg getting her money. That's not my problem. I have a problem with society and the culture being fat phobic and putting some of our most successful, beautiful, talented Black women as the face and the forefront of food that is killing our people. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that.
And hot sauce, by the way, guys, is not killing our people. But
eating fried chicken every day is.
Yeah.
It is. Eating McDonald's, eating a Saweetie meal every
Big
day
Mama,
is.
Your arm, Big Mama.
Which, by the way, right. But again, it goes back to the point where people pick and choose when they want to be hypocrites and when they want to be mean and when they want to be nasty. Because if we're being honest, diabetes, high cholesterol are huge problems for Black people.
Yeah.
And these are very specifically targeted ads to Black people. So we're targeting Black people with these fast food ads, and it's no shade to Saweetie and it's no shade to Meg Thee Stallion. But these companies are targeting us with this unhealthy food and unhealthy lifestyle, and then want to sit up here and tell someone like a Lizzo to kill herself because she's so big. So we need to start having some deeper conversations around where we getting our checks and what we signing up for. That's why I don't care about this hot sauce.
That was deep.
I know y'all weren't expecting me to take
Holy
it there, but
fuck.
it really bothered me, especially while we've been discussing health and people that are immunocompromised and people who don't have access to healthcare and people that aren't able to buy healthy food because healthy food is fucking expensive. So now
But I also talked about it here. I mean, when I was living in the Bronx, I mean, and we talk about even the difference in where I live now, but when I was living in the Bronx, there was no Whole Foods. There was no place for me to walk and get a salad. I lived in the Bronx for almost 8 years, and I think that fucking Nori and them brought the juice bar. Right when I was in Castle Hill, and then when I was in Parkchester, a juice bar opened in my last year or two living there. Yeah. Other than that, there was nowhere for me to get a salad when I wanted to. It was Popeyes, it was Burger King, it was Boston Market. It was all of the places that, high cholesterol, high sodium, carbs. Nothing was healthy. There was no healthy options. And even as far as my supermarket, the options of seafood, the options of organic items, the options of all of that was not accessible. And so we talk about as well why the chicken joints and the McDonald's are all in, are specifically located in low income communities, which often are where our Black community resides as well.
Which again is problematic for me because I'm looking at this like we are real quick to tear Black women down for their size, which by the way, this is also not to say that Lizzo is her size because she eats Popeyes. So for any of y'all that are gonna attempt to reach and make
really
that connection,
making sure they don't come for you this week.
No, because I'm sick of people taking my shit out of context when there's enough fucking episode for y'all to really get the bottom line.
There you go.
And I'm over it. So I want to make it clear, I'm not blaming Lizzo's size and Lizzo's weight on Popeyes. But what I will say is there is a mentality and a very specific market research that lets us know based on this ad that we're being targeted, that this is meant for us. This isn't meant for the what's the girl name who I didn't know and everybody dragged me for not knowing her name? Olivia. They not putting Olivia Rodrigo on Popeyes.
Right. Or Ariana Grande with her ponytail.
They definitely don't have Ariana Grande singing at the top of her lungs like they did Mary J. Blige in a Burger King commercial. They sure the fuck don't. So I think we need to have some serious conversations about Black Square Twitter and Black Square social media, which I'm gonna say, and we may get in trouble for it later on down the line, but people that claim that they're gang, and then we see these types of ads, and it's not Whole Foods out here giving us a commercial, it's Popeyes. So I mean, I'm troubled by it. What I will say though, I would like to commend other companies that give Black creatives opportunities, like Kevin Hart's commercial with the Alexa Play,
yes.
play my podcast, play my show.
Well, and Tiffany Haddish.
Haddish,
yeah,
yes,
was a part of that as well.
I love that. Kaylani was in the commercial as well, and they're literally advertising a product that services our demographic, but also is serving a product that is created by a Black person. I love that branding, and whoever came up with that marketing strategy, kudos to y'all, because that's how we should be driving. That's how we should be driving the ads that pertain to our culture and things that are important to us.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of TV this week, I actually kind of maybe wanted us to revisit. I'm pretty much caught up now with Wu-Tang Clan on Hulu.
Yeah.
Which is great, but I don't want to get too much into that. I know there's another episode dropping in a couple days. Mm-hmm. And then before, I know I have it on this list, but I would really like for you to watch Seduced. And for the audience watching, Seduced goes inside the NXIVM sex cult, which has to do with actually a lot of art, like celebrities. So actors and things were in it.
Okay.
And it was a sex cult that actually seemed as though it was a mental health type of thing that was set up also in a pyramid scheme type of way. And then once you reached a certain level, you did actually end up in this like sex cult with branding. And the person who ended up running the sex cult actually got 120 years in prison. And that just happened. So my goodness, if you haven't yet, it's the sex cult. I want to say, it was this year. So the trial began October of 2020.
Wow.
And they all just got sentenced in June of this year.
Wow.
Which makes sense why it's now posted. But also Alice something from Smallville.
Okay.
She was also an actor who was a part of ringleading this as well. And
oh my God.
It's just really, there we go. What's her name?
Alicia Baker?
Nope, that ain't her. My bad. I be getting people's names wrong, okay?
Oh dear.
Bitch, it start with an A. Just put in Smallville, then NXIVM. Oh, Allison Small might be it. Oh, Allison Mack. There you go. Thank you.
Oh.
Allison Mack, she actually also was sentenced as well.
Wow.
She got 3 years in prison for the sex slave case. And there was a lot of people who actually got a part of this. Oh, girl, there were doctors involved and everything. They were running like brain studies and had them all in a certain like area in New York. She got
divorced last year too.
Oh no, it was insane. It was pretty insane. I will also say too, the conversation that me and my friends got watching this is one that ran parallel with R. Kelly in the sense that the person who was narrating this show was to me one of the ringleaders in this cult. And she literally got off by providing a lot of evidence. And so she's speaking from a victim state, although she victimized other people.
Right.
And so we had the conversation even in comparison to this to R. Kelly, where R. Kelly was a sexual assault victim.
Right.
And of course, then he had his own victims. And it was just really interesting for us to have that conversation because you watch it and you feel sorry for her, But then I was watching it, I was like, bitch, you guilty too, bitch. You need to be behind bars. And so it was just really interesting listening to it because I know that this is one of those spaces that I'm conflicted a lot of times.
Right.
So it's on Stars if you haven't watched it, but I want you to watch it before we really deep dive into it. But it's amazing. Do you have anything for TV?
Succession is back. I don't know if anybody watches Succession.
I ain't never heard that in my life, bitch.
It's season 3.
Oh shit. All right. And who's in that?
And so, Kieran Culkin is one of the main characters. He's Macaulay Culkin's younger brother. But it's essentially it's a similar show to Billions. Do you watch Billions?
No, but I want to watch it. And shout out to my friend because she actually supplies all of the BDSM equipment for Billions.
Yes.
So all of the BDSM that is introduced in Billions, my friend is actually on set for it. It's all of her equipment on set. She also was the intimacy coordinator for Bonding on Netflix.
Oh.
So she focuses on making sure that BDSM showcases as realistic as possible in these shows that we watch on film. So shout out to Olivia Troy.
Shout out to Olivia. Yes, it's basically this family that's incredibly wealthy. The father runs a multi-billion-dollar company, and all of his children are now fighting. They've been fighting for the CEO spot since the first season.
3 seasons
you know
now?
what I'm saying?
Okay.
And they still trying to figure out. But obviously, it covers all the ins and the outs, all the betrayals between, the siblings, and how corrupt the father is, and how corrupt some of the siblings are, and some of the secrets that everybody is hiding, and who's protecting
Sounds like
who.
Billions, girl.
It is. It's a family. It's a family affair, and so. All of the kids have their own agenda, and they all, it's very interesting to see the dynamics.
There's actually a movie that I watched on an airplane that was similar to this, and it was shot like Clue. Mm-hmm. They had to figure out who killed the father, but all of them showed up for the father's death just to see who was going to get the money.
Wow.
Well,
basically that's what this is. Every kid is like taking a stab.
God damn you.
Knives Out. Oh yeah, I saw Knives Out.
Thank you, Alex.
Good film.
Yes, it's called Knives Out.
Good film.
Really good film, especially if you're on a plane. It's definitely on the flight if you're flying Delta. Yes, and it had fucking Lakeith Stanfield.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
Chris Evans.
It's an amazing movie,
really,
and
really
it had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Really well
Daniel
written.
Craig, yeah.
Yes, but Knives Out. So when you're explaining Succession,
it's the same kind of idea.
Okay.
And no one is likable on the show. Like, no one's character is likable. Like, at first I watched it, I was like, you know what? This is kind of like Game of Thrones. And then I was like, nah, it's not like Game of Thrones. I don't care if none of these people die. But it's very well written, similarly to Billions. So I just think if you're interested in some suspense, the music is phenomenal also. It's a good show to get into. But other than that, I do want to shout out my partner for deciding to watch Harry Potter for the first time with me this weekend.
Hold on, let me give him a round of applause. That's some old nigga shit.
Well, first of all, it's not. It's not really some old nigga shit.
It's old nigga shit to just now be watching Harry Potter. So baby, that's my generation, baby.
He's in his 40s though.
Right, I'm 31.
He's in his right, but that's a 10-year difference. You were what, 11 years old when the first one came out?
Yeah, but like,
so he was 21.
But I was reading,
but
we were reading the books in elementary school. Like, so when it finally came out, Harry Potter was a huge deal for me as a child.
He was in the club. He was in the club. He was not at home. Right. He didn't give a fuck about Harry Potter and Ronald Weasley.
Stone? Nope, didn't care about none of that.
He did not give a fuck about the Goblet of Fire. My man was in the club. He was at Marquee. He was not checking for Dumbledore. He wasn't. So his first go round watching Harry Potter. So shout out to him because we definitely got through 1 and 2 yesterday, and we probably gonna watch another one today. And I just love, man. I'm just so grateful that I'm with somebody that really takes the time to take an interest in things that I'm interested in as well.
Yep.
I take the time to learn about things as well. Saturday, we were at this Barclays Center, and I did not know the words. It was a date night surprise on friends' behalf.
You were me on Saturday, not knowing the words?
I was, because I wasn't singing along like I knew the words. So not quite like you.
Oh.
But
oh, bitch, I'm going to sing.
That's the only difference.
And I'm going to make up my words,
Mandy's going to
bitch.
sing. So if you looking at Mandy, you going to think she know the words. I was not. I was sitting there like the real, like a tourist. Like, I like this song. This is nice. lit, you know? And so it was a good time. So I'm really grateful and appreciative to have good friends. And then Sunday dinner was so immaculate.
Thank
y'all,
you.
Mandii be cooking her ass off.
Thank you.
I don't think y'all really understand how Mandii
one day.
Mandii be throwing down. Okay, like Mandii really, she was pissed because she didn't post the picture of the
when
the
it was
finished,
cooked.
of the finished.
And mind you, her nigga hit me like it don't look like it's seasoned. And I said,
he was like, I don't know, that chicken look a little pale.
And I'm like, nigga, I rubbed the butter and I rubbed the seasoning away, but it's there. It's seasoned, I promise.
Right.
And he showed up and ate that shit to the bone.
Yeah,
so,
definitely did. So it was great. It was a good meal.
Thank you,
it was fabulous. Sunday dinners are back on track. I'm so happy because we were missing Mandii bad on Sundays.
Yeah,
Sunday dinners
I'm
are
out
vibe.
here traveling, man. I'm out in these streets.
Right.
I do, before we get out of here, I want to thank all of you guys for those of you who support us on Patreon.
Yes.
If you haven't yet, the link is in the description of this episode. It's patreon.com/seethethingispod.
Mm-hmm.
We have multiple tiers. We do BTS. We have a lot of really dope content on there.
Yeah.
So if you guys even liked our conversation on relationships, and how we view them, we took a break and Savon was like, "Ooh, that was given Patreon."
Yeah.
So we really get into some vulnerable spaces and really trying to walk through where we're at. We also have a lot of friends that join us and talk about their pivots in their careers, which is amazing. So this week we just had, or last week we had Ray Holiday on there. This week we are actually going to be dropping our audio from our live Friends with Benefits session. Mm-hmm. So tonight, Bridget and I are getting on Zoom with our patrons, and we're going to talk to you guys about verses, about a lot of different things. So,
well, by the time y'all hear this, though, we've already done it. So,
oh yeah, so it's too late. Y'all can't join us this
for
month,
y'all, but the
maybe
next month you can. Next month you definitely should, because we talk about all the shit that we can't talk about here. And not that there's that many things we can't talk about here, but we get a little more personal, a little more intimate, and we like to engage with y'all. So it's definitely something that's worthwhile.
And just be aware, if y'all have been tuning in, we have an announcement coming soon. So stay tuned. We got some shit going for you, and it's only right that this is the way we close out of this episode.
Because y'all stands got to get a life, man. Y'all got to get a life. Eminem don't even know y'all.
But they never know them. Like, the celebrities do not know you guys,
but it's just this weirdo shit to be threatening people on the internet. You don't know. You don't even know me. Why are you threatening me? If you don't like me, no problem. Don't comment. Don't follow. Move along.
So, guys, we want to thank y'all for tuning in to yet another Tuesday of See the Thing Is podcast.
We love y'all.
Before we get out of here, we do, because we don't really do like the whole shout outs like we do. Scream In, you were phenomenal today.
Go off, Alex.
Go off, Alex. I want to give a shout out to you. I want to give a shout out to Savon.
Yes.
Parks is celebrating his birthday. So
happy birthday, Parks!
We want to give a birthday shout out to Parks, who could not join us today. We want to shout out Carl. We want to shout out Josh, Ian, and everybody here supporting the See the Thing Is.
And since we're gonna support healthy lifestyles, we're also gonna tell y'all to go buy Purpose Sea Moss, which is Savon's
there we
Sea
go.
Moss company.
I got the strawberry kind.
We support Black businesses over here, and we support healthy lifestyles as well. So definitely make sure you get some Purpose Sea Moss.
I know that's right.
Yeah, we gotta support our team over here.
For what purpose?
Yes.
All right, guys.
We love y'all. See you next week.
Shout out Eminem.
Marshall Mathers, we love you, bro. You can come be the token on our podcast, bro.
Hey, nah, he'll never show up at this point. That'll be what? A full two white people on this pod then?
That'll be officially 2. Also, we can't be racist. We have white moms. Fuck you.
That part. All right, guys.
Bye.
Until next week.